Hello, and welcome back to another Rant and Bollox.
What, you wanted me to introduce myself?
Yeah,
what
I thought mix it up a little bit.
You won't even just let me... Hey everybody, Neary's here to come back into your life and give you music to your ears.
Just fuck it up.
Yeah, pretty
That's
much.
what you do. Just fuck things up.
Did you watch the Grammys?
I did not watch the Grammys. The BAFTAs were on as well. So,
really?
Yeah, my mate was telling me the BAFTAs were on, but I didn't watch either of them. So
I didn't watch it. Yeah, a lot of film news.
Yeah,
some of it's
film
good,
stuff as well.
Some of it's bad.
Oh yeah.
Most of it's bad.
It's not.
It's not bad. It's good stuff, but it's...
Gives us something to rant about.
Yeah, pretty much. That's why we're here. All right, give me... Oh,
Totally.
no, I got tech news for you.
Yeah.
This is just real quick. Remember about 2 weeks ago? I told you there was a poker tournament.
Yeah.
4 top-level poker players were playing
an
AI computer.
That's right.
They finished now. The tournament's over. It lasted like 21 days.
Yeah.
Computer won.
Cybernet.
Yeah. It beat every single player
Holy shit.
from the start.
Wow.
It was winning the whole time.
Okay.
So this thing is now better than humans. It plays poker better than people. And it learns as it was playing.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, this is crazy. And it wasn't for real money, but the guys who were playing were being compensated. So like they were
shot.
They were killed afterwards because they failed. They failed as people and they failed as card players. But this is like a new level of computer intelligence. We've had the chess players, had the Go player, but now they're beating us at games where it's intuition and uncertainties. Like the computer's dealing with uncertainties. Like with a chessboard, you can see what's on the chessboard.
Right.
But with this, you don't know what the other player's doing.
Yeah.
And because they have that limited data, that's why they said computers could never do it.
Right.
So now they can. Now AI can play poker. They can play poker better than people.
That is mental.
Yeah.
You're going to use androids when you in the future. We're not going to know if they're human or android. Do you reckon that's a future? Do you reckon that could happen, you know? Like
the name of that computer is Libratus. So it's made by Carnegie Mellon University.
Right.
So you know that the guys who made that are now the richest men in the world.
Brats.
Like if you have a computer that can play better than people. Yeah. And you can play online where no one knows if you're a computer or not. Yeah. It passes the Turing test. It passes the AI test. See, this is great. Like every week you're the tech guy. But if there's one thing I know about, it's the machines are coming to kill us. And the AI on this is just, it's another level. Oh, wow. Like it seems simple, but if you take that, you put in one of those robots that they're always building that can carry boxes. Yeah. Terminator.
It's coming, man.
It has to be.
I had a friend, I don't think he owns it anymore, but he owned cyber.net.
Oh yeah,
so he owned a URL, and that was like his little portfolio. I don't know. I think I went
was
there.
His name
and
John?
Nothing there now. Yeah, John Connor.
John
Connor. That's a pretty cool URL.
So
I like that.
That's some
good,
cool. Yeah,
that's some good tech news. Nice.
It's good in the sense of like we're looking down the barrel of a gun.
Yeah.
Because they're going to come and kill us, but at least they can play poker.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy.
I mean, they're going to be driving our cars next, aren't they? So.
Anyway, that's my one piece of tech news for this week.
That's fantastic.
Another thing, last week you were talking about Resident Evil 7.
Yeah.
My buddies in Ireland, they were like all over it. They're just saying, can't wait for it.
I know. It looks
super exciting.
It looks scary as shit. It's been selling well. Yeah. I've heard it sold really well. The VR version of it selling well.
Oh, don't remind me of that. It terrifies me.
So just to let, because I know that there's a couple of viewers out there that are listening to it for the gaming related news, but there's
a couple of viewers who are listening.
Couple of viewers. What I was going to say, it's exclusive on PlayStation for a year. So this time next year, it will be on Steam and on PC, and we'll see what Xbox has by then. But
we're turning really into a PlayStation show here. We're just
pretty
shitting
much
on Xbox.
Yeah.
It's not fair. I like Xbox.
Xbox got stuff coming out, and we
were talking about this the other day. When you were younger, you won a
Sega.
A Sega. Yeah. When I was younger, I won a PlayStation.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that's one of my questions later on. So don't fuck with my questions, all right?
Fine.
They're coming in. They're coming in.
Everyone, just delete this from your memory, and we'll just skip to the next part.
Look at the white light.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. I was like finding out what happened. Like, so you ever notice that when you're watching the news and they mention like a story? Yeah. And then it's like, we'll keep track of this as happening, and they never go back to that story. No. I just want someone to create a news show, which is like 6 months down the line. Yeah. And then they go back to whatever the story was 6 months earlier. So like the show comes out in June, but they tell you about all those stories you remember from January. Yeah. So you're like, oh, did that guy go to prison?
That would be
Did that court
cool.
case get solved?
Yeah,
did that, everything that like because we're so like in the moment with all the news we get.
Yeah, no,
like it's very hard to keep track of things that are like very interesting to you. And I would just think like somebody's got to create a show. We'll do it. We've got loads of time on our hands.
Of course.
But if you just had a news program that dealt with not the news, with the olds, which just said, okay, 4 months ago, Sega said they're going to be bringing this out. Yeah. Where's that at now? You know, the updates.
They lied to us.
Yeah, exactly.
6 months ago.
Back when Apple said they're only bringing out one iPhone. Yeah. Now we're on 8.
No, it's true. That's not a bad little idea. Little side business.
Yeah, everybody can take that. That's a freebie. Just throwing those ideas out there. Just credit Alex with that one.
Yeah. Put my name on it. I've got an interesting thing. So it's Valentine's Day.
I'll be the judge of that.
It's Valentine's Day this week.
That's not interesting to me.
Well,
I'm too lonely for it to care.
It will be. Do you know anything about 23andMe? Do you know that DNA?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I tried to do it once. The one time I tried to do it, it got shut down by the FDA. Swear to God.
Are you serious?
Yeah. What happened? This was about 4 years ago.
Okay, because I think it came about like 6 or 7 years ago.
Yeah, and it must have been 4 or 5 years ago. Then I was like, oh, I'd love to do this. So I was like, I might as well do it. Whatever it is, a couple of $100. Went to the website, put in the thing, and then I went to the website, and the first thing that came up was says, please be advised, 23andMe is not capable of giving you full results for the time being.
Wow.
Because it was getting investigated by the FDA.
Oh, right. Okay.
And it's probably cleared up since then.
No.
But that was the first time I went to it, and I was like, bullshit.
Oh, shit. We should get back to it. I mean, it is expensive, but the reason why I mention it is I was talking to my brother, and he brought this up, and I thought it was an interesting concept. So it's and I just mixed this in with Valentine's Day, because Valentine's Day...
You're mixing your brother in with Valentine's Day? That's a bit weird.
It's not right, is it?
That's not right.
But just, with dating, singles out there.
Yeah, I've been dating your brother.
People using Tinder, swiping left, swiping right. I've never used Tinder. I don't know. All I know is swiping left, swiping right. I don't even know which one means which, but...
But it's like, it's in the public consciousness. That's the system.
But it'd be interesting once enough people have done 23andMe, whether there will be a dating app, or maybe it's built into Tinder, where it's like, hey, I've done this DNA kit, and like if I get with someone else similar to, because the DNA tells you...
We have less chance of getting,
exactly, syphilis. So, but I can see people actually using it for that. Saying like, oh, well, I guess if I mate with you...
It's like Gattaca.
It's going to give me this.
Gattaca, where they genetically engineer people, and there's, what do they call them? Godborns?
Yeah.
People who aren't... Yeah. Like, that's the way it'll go. And I actually had a conversation once with my buddy about this. Yeah. About how it would happen. He said, nobody's going to do that. No one's going to do it. And I said, you're not thinking about it like a parent.
Yeah.
Like, if you did that 23andMe test when the kid is in the womb, and then the thing says, oh, you've got a 7% chance of getting testicular cancer.
Exactly, yeah.
And then the parents will be like, oh, what can we do? And it's like, well, while it's in the womb, we can still, rearrange it and make sure that goes down to 2% chance.
Yeah.
You would do that every day of the week.
Exactly, yeah.
There's no parent on earth who couldn't do that.
No, I agree.
But what happens is that you then, once you cross that little bridge of like the necessity...
What's too far?
You're like, can we make them tall?
Yeah.
And it's not even in a bad way. It's like, you're taller than your wife. Yeah. Or she's like got better eyesight than you. Yeah. It's like, can we make sure he gets those genes?
She doesn't know.
Yeah, she's terrible. She's blind as a bat.
She's blind.
And like me, it's like, well, we don't want him to have everything that's wrong with him. Yeah. So can we just make the woman again, but in a boy form? So it's like my cat allergy.
Sure.
Everyone knows my secret kryptonite now. But if you had a cat allergy, you'd be like, I just want to get rid of this cat allergy. I don't want my kid to have it because it's shit.
It makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. And the kit, I think right now is around Canadian dollars is like $280. Yeah. So that's going to go down. That's expensive, but it will go down. And when that goes down to $50, everyone's going to be doing it. And I think a service like that might exist. So I just thought it was interesting. Yeah. A lot of people obviously are using Tinder, but using it for DNA purposes. We're predicting the future here, man. Yeah. So we should get on that app as
well. Instead of swiping left and right, you just get like a little drop of blood. Just goes onto the screen.
That'd be great.
You just find your next genetic match.
Yeah, exactly. Get out. Another little topic here is it's the 10th anniversary of the iPhone this year. It's 10 years old this year. So,
this year.
It's already over 10 years old. But so when they release their iPhone in September, it will be 10 years. They're doing something special. We don't really know 100% what it's going to be.
Update it for once?
They're going to update. Well, that's an interesting... Nice. Paul's a Android user and I'm an iPhone user. I've always been an iPhone user. Have you ever used an iPhone as in for more than a week kind of thing?
No.
I
just think
so
iPhones
we're
rivals.
We're rivals. It's
like
perfect.
Update. So. Just update the look. Just change something.
Yeah.
Why does it have to be the same phone?
But then it took Android a while just to fucking get things smooth and slick, It was
I
a
know,
while,
but I just don't... Every time a new iPhone comes out...
Yeah.
Apple are always like, this is the greatest update in the history of the world. We got rid of headphones.
They could sell ice to the Eskimos. They could sell fucking ice to the Eskimos. But yeah,
whereas like when the Samsung comes out, I don't even know what the newest Samsung is. I'll walk into the store and be like, what's the new one? It's like Samsung 7, Samsung 8. I'm like, okay, cool. I've missed like 5 generations.
Samsung dynamite.
And I don't know. I just don't think, like the sales pitch versus the product is no longer the same at Apple. Like, you're not getting the same.
It's good branding, good advertising, but I totally agree. Like, they're not upping their tech and their models of their phone enough. But with this one, I'm just pointing it out because, so I got the iPhone 7 I got it last year for when I went on holiday. Yeah. But, and I was super pleased with it.
You went on holiday.
Haven't had a new phone for a while, but now I'm reading about this iPhone 8 and it really does seem like it could be quite cool. Yeah. This one's going to be a bit of a sore point.
Is this the change? Like,
this is the change. I think this is a change. This is a bit of a sore point, but it sounds like it's going to have...
We got rid of your headphones.
It's going to have
now we're getting rid of the screen.
Charging. Yeah, there's fucking headphones. Well, that came up, the headphones on the plane. But
wireless charging?
Wireless charging, which the Androids have had for about 1.5 years, 2 years now. Right. Which is disappointing, but it might have that. It's going to have like a curved display, so it's going to... Sounds like the display is going to go round the device in the corners. You're not going to have
Samsung has that as well, yeah.
Samsung
have that.
Two brothers, is Sam and Sung.
Sam and Sung have that.
No, I know. Over there in China. It's almost like they're playing catch up, but when they deliver. Apple deliver in style, And, fools like me are going to pay for that.
Exactly. So, Lining up midnight outside the Apple store.
I've realised I just dug myself a grave. Like a fucking hole with this.
I can't wait till this phone comes out and it looks already a year out of date.
You know what I want to do?
And it's going to come out. I would talk to you about it, but your Apple Maps will drive you off a cliff, and I'll never see you again. It's going to come
out in September, and you know what we're going to do? We're going to do a 6-month going back.
Yes, that's what we have to do. I'm going to come back to this podcast. Yeah. Like, remember when you said it would be great?
And I'm going to edit the podcast. No, we'll do that. We'll go back.
Welcome to the.
And maybe in like
another
5 years, we'll go back to the 23andMe Valentine's Tinder. Yeah. And then we'll ask for some money off Tinder.
Well, Alex had a massive mutation no one had expected. 5 years ago, he couldn't have thought his brain would have exploded. But now we know, thanks to 23andMe.
And the Cybernet Corporation. The last one, because I don't have as much on tech, the last one is, so I was in...
It's your one job.
Oh, I've got gaming news that will probably go on for another 3 days.
You win this round, Fleming.
Yeah. I've got movies as well. Some of mine overlap with yours.
You son of a bitch.
I've been watching you.
Why am I even here?
I've been watching you. The last tech one is, I was in Toronto, as you know, because I met up with you. Yeah. We were outside your house for...
He was watching me.
A few hours. And actually, I didn't spot this to start with. Leah, my wife, spotted this. She spotted the Model X. I had to look it up. And it's the SUV Tesla. Yeah. I looked them up. They start at 120,000 US. Yeah. Man. The coolest thing is that SUV, like you can get, your kids or whatever in the back. The fucking doors still open like wings, when they go up. Yeah. Kind of thing. It just looked incredible. The door handles and everything. Just seeing like a big car like that with the doors open. And I just started looking at the Tesla website. I'm like, man, I want one of these cars. Yeah. Obviously, we don't have the money for it, but it just made me think like, this is the future, And what's the dude's name from Tesla? Elon.
Elon Musk.
Yeah. He's basically Tony Stark.
Yeah, the only problem I have with him is like morally, he's now sort of like gotten pally with Trump.
I know that's a.
But my thing is like, I love electric cars. I love the idea of them, and like I'm a bit of a petrol head. I love cars in general. Sure. And I think like if you love cars, proper like muscle V8 guzzling cars like Lamborghinis, Ferraris, whatever. Yeah. Then you should be on board with electric because then there's more gas for you to drive around. Yeah, yeah. So the more electric cars there are, the longer you'll be able to drive your classic cars. Sure. And I love just electric cars because they're also performance-wise amazing. Yeah. Like that SUV, it's got like 0 to 100 faster than most sports cars now.
It's mental, yeah.
Because it's so light and it's got massive torque and it's electric. It's crazy what these cars can do.
I know.
And I think that's the way of the future. It's a good way of saving the planet and being fun. And then you put in all the tech stuff that'll make them drive themselves so everyone's safe on the roads. Yeah, yeah. But Trump's a dickhead, and anybody who's like near him sort of gets caught in that cyclone of bullshit.
I think he's been vocal on like his position with Trump as well, but still, it's a little wary. Yeah, so,
but it's the moral thing for me is like, is he just being pally with Trump so that he can keep the electric cars going?
Yeah, maybe.
Like, take the personal.
He's a smart guy, so he's doing something for a reason. I kind of believe in him, unless something goes tits up. But,
it's kind of like
he's got this whole tunnel thing as well.
The hyper tunnel
thing, which I kind of find quite interesting because
they're going to build one of them in Dubai, I think. Abu Dhabi or Dubai.
If it's anywhere, it's going to be bloody Dubai.
Do you want to explain to people what it is?
I know he wants to do a lot more of tunnels, but that hyperdrive is going to be like super fast. Isn't it? Basically like a train system down.
It's a train system that's in a enclosed space, so there's no air. They suck all the air out. So once you have no air, you have no friction. So nothing's going to slow you down as you accelerate. Yeah. So the one that's in the Arab Emirates, wherever they're building it, it can go up to like 500 miles an hour.
That's insane. Yeah.
Because there's nothing to stop it speeding up. But it can only, as far as I know now, it can only be built in a straight line. Okay. Because you can't turn in it because there's no air.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So now they're trying to figure out how to bend it. Huh. So if you could bend it, then you could build it between cities. But for now, it's just like you need an arrow straight line.
Technology. It's crazy. Here's a random question. I just thought of this right now. When do you think we'll be able to fly to Australia, Canada to Australia?
Right now, if you want.
Really?
Didn't you go there on holiday?
I went there on holiday.
Yeah. On a boat? Is that it? You got on a canoe?
Yeah. It took 7 years.
You saw all these big white planes overhead. You're just like, one of these days, when can we do that? Hey?
When do you reckon we'll be able to go there from here in like 5 hours?
5 hours.
5 hours. Just like, I'm just going to, it's a legit, like, going to go there for a holiday. Yeah. None of this stop off in Hong Kong and this and that and 23 hours together. But just like, do you reckon we'll be able to do that?
Shout out to our Hong Kong listeners.
Do you reckon we'll be able to do that in 10 years? Or do you reckon it's going to take longer?
No, like I think planes have kind of hit a peak. As in, it's not that they can't get faster, they won't get faster. But there's always that trade-off between speed and comfort. And like you can build a faster plane, like a stealth bomber, but you can't stick a lot of people on that and get it from like Toronto to. So I don't think, like, what was it, Boeing, their new jet is going to cost like $2 billion or something each. Yeah. It's just too much money. Yeah. Like even as much money as it's costing to make the electric cars, it's nowhere near as expensive to improve a car. Sure. Because you can sell 1,000 cars and make your money back. Whereas planes have to make their money back through passengers. Right. So no one's investing in making better commercial planes, but we're always getting faster military planes. Yeah. I don't know when we're ever going to start moving towards making the faster planes. I know they got that cool.
Because they went backwards of like Concorde, didn't they? So
yeah, Concorde is just like, it's too loud, too noisy, too many sonic
I think booms. It might be a bit like Richard Branson going out of space.
That's what I was going to say, the rockets they have,
Yeah, that seems like the next logical way. Or, it's not even going to be bloody space, it's going to be these hypertunnels.
Yeah, so you could stick one of them across the water, you'd be
crazy.
So you just got to figure out how to make a float and put a train in it.
Yeah. It'd be interesting.
You're just lazy, you just don't want to sit in a plane. You want a 5-hour flight to Australia.
Pretty much, yeah. I want to go back.
Yeah, I know. But you just want to do it for the weekend. You just want to fly on a Friday, come back on the long weekend. Yeah.
How great would that be?
That would be great.
Yeah, if your kids say that, and you'll be the old man in the chair going, "Took me 23 hours."
Yeah. Alex had to build a raft to get there.
Australia on your map? Would you like to go there?
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to see. I have a thing about emptiness.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I remember I went out to the plains out here in Manitoba. Oh, yeah. And, like, you fly in on the plane, you can see the curve of the earth and stuff. Yeah. I was like, this is amazing. And I know some people are like, it's boring, there's nothing there. But I think that's great when there's so much space. Sure. So, like, I want to see those places. I want to see the deserts in Africa, and I want to see the deserts in Arabia, and then I want to see the outback. Yeah. But, there's also the beaches. There's the beauty out there. Yeah. Yeah, but just that massive places are crazy to go to. Not that I don't love mountains. Wow. But I'm like you. Like, we come from a little island, so I grew up with mountains and rivers and
Ireland's fucking beautiful.
Yeah, so. And I'm not that I'm used to that kind of scenery, but when you see a place that is bigger than my country, that's totally flat, it just blows my mind. Yeah. Or when I went out of Vancouver one time and I saw the Rockies. Yeah. Never seen anything like that.
Oh yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah. So like, seeing something that's just so massive, I'm sure it's just crazy. Also, catching one of those big spiders that you took a photo of would be awesome.
On your face. We'll move on to the games, and then we'll move.
Oh, can I say one thing real quick? Because we missed it last week.
Yeah, go for it.
This is nothing tech news. It's just real quick to say.
Sure.
John Hurt died a week after I'd watched all the Alien movies.
Yeah, I know. That was crazy.
So I was just like, that's shit.
I know.
He's a great actor. I know. Everyone, you've probably seen him in 100 things. He's been in Harry Potter. He's been in The Elephant Man. He was obviously an Alien. Yeah. One of the films that I noticed that got like a lot of traction lately was 1984.
Right.
You know, the book?
Yeah.
It suddenly went to the top #1 thing.
It's the year I was born, yeah.
Yeah, Trump and Big Brother's watching us now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's shit. John Hurt was gone. I was like, that's crazy. 77, I think he went.
Yeah, he's on the list for 2017, you know. We had a lot of people go 2016, but yeah, that was a big one actually. So I think there's a lot of people that will know him from like either Alien or Elephant Man. Yeah. But then once you look at his IMDb or his Wikipedia, you're like, oh my god, he did this and that. So it's sad.
Yeah, and like I said, I think I mentioned in the episode last week, like the crazy thing about Alien, which it's not his breakout role. He was always had enough talent to make it.
Yeah.
But he got that job. Did I tell you the story of how he got the job?
I can't remember.
I'll just quickly go over it then. Yeah. I'm sorry if everyone's heard it before, but there was a different actor hired to play his role, right? Yeah. And they were filming the first scene with that actor. Yeah. And he was just looking very pasty and pale and sickly. And Ridley Scott goes over to him. He says, "Are you okay?" He's like, "I'm all right. Yeah. And this is the scene where they're literally just sitting in the chairs looking at the computer screens. Sure. So a couple of hours go by and this guy he just looks like he's death warmed up. Yeah. And Ridley Scott goes like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "No, I can't even get out of the chair at this point." Turns out the guy was diabetic and didn't know it.
Oh shit.
So he was having was it hypoglycemic or hyperglycemic? He was running out hypo, so he didn't have any sugar. Couldn't do the movie, and Ridley Scott says, "Okay, we'll get John Hurt then." So Ridley Scott drives out to where John Hurt lived. Because they're filming in London. John Hurt lived in England. Right. He said, "Okay, so I want you to play this character. He's in this movie. It's an alien movie, and he had to explain the whole story to him in a couple of hours." And he sells it to him, and John Hurt says, "Okay, so what happens?" Like, well, about 40 minutes in, everybody, the alien comes, it jumps in your face, and then it kills you, and I'm going to do this great thing where it comes out of your chest. And John Hurt's like, okay, I kind of trust this guy, see where he's going with everything. And John Hurt says, "All right, you sold me on it, Ridley. When are we going to start shooting?" Ridley Scott says, "Tomorrow at 7 o'clock. I need you on set."
Oh wow!
He hired him the night before he
was
shooting.
Awesome.
Yeah. So like John Hurt says, like he never prepped for the role. He was just in it, and he just had to follow Ridley Scott. Yeah. But ever since then, like he's had hundreds of jobs. He's worked on everything since the 60s.
Wow, good for him.
Yeah. Bit of a loss, but yeah, I just wanted to bring him up.
Yeah. No. Good point. All right, well, moving on to some games. So what we got coming up here? I guess we mentioned it last week, but we are going to be doing some game reviews. So, and that's going to range from anything from Steam and then Windows. So Windows covers a lot of Xbox stuff. I'll be getting a PS4 real soon. And then we're also going to do mobile games because we know there's a lot of people out there, obviously, with Androids and iPhones. So that's going to be something to look out for. We're not sure how frequently you're going to do them, but there'll be at least once a month, but we might do more. But yeah, I think we're going to start with like a Windows-based game and then move on to PlayStation because I'll be getting a PlayStation soon and stuff. And then we'll also do some, we'll bring the PlayStation in and have a game or something, maybe live or something.
Maybe when Red Dead 2 comes out, we'll get an Xbox.
Yeah, you and your Xbox. So.
I just want to play it on Xbox, honestly. Yeah.
Well,
but it'll be out on it'll be out on PlayStation.
It'll be yeah. But Xbox might be better. The new Scorpio console, you never know.
Do people do that? Like I know they kind of compare console games. Like I'll play it on the PlayStation, you play it on the Xbox, and we'll see which one's better.
I think they've always.
Does that make sense to you? It doesn't make sense to me.
They've always been equal. Like the consoles have always been equal, but now there's a bit of a divide. PlayStation is more powerful, especially with the PlayStation Pro, is more powerful than an Xbox. Yeah. Whenever you play on a PlayStation, it's going to look and it's going to run better. Right. However, Xbox have got a console coming out end of this month, end of this year. Scorpio. And that hopefully is not the ad.
Yeah,
for
that's
Scorpio. But yeah, that thing's going to be like beastly, and it's going to then make the PS4 look all shitty.
That's got VR too, if I'm correct.
So they're in bed with Oculus Rift, so they're going to have Oculus Rift like built in and stuff like that. So there's going to be some exciting things. Then, so at the end of this year, anything you play on Xbox is probably going to run better than PlayStation. But then this is a whole other conversation, but then it comes down to exclusives. PlayStation's just got an unbelievable brand and games behind it.
Yeah, like you're just saying, they've got the game's not going to be released anywhere else for a year. Resident Evil.
Well, that's VR. Crazy. But then all their other games, they've got so many games. Whereas Xbox, they've got Gears of War, they've got Halo, they've got their Forza, like driving.
It looks a lot like, just a good job, it looks a lot like what's happening on the online streaming now. Right. You know how people are locking down stuff? So you have your in-house stuff, like your Netflix are going to be like, all right, we're going to be pumping Stranger Things. Sure. That's our show, we made it, no one else can get it. You can only get it on Netflix. Totally. And then you have Amazon who go out and they got, Jeremy Clarkson and those guys to do the Grand Tour.
Yeah.
So it's like you can only
I'm buying it just for that.
And it's like I think that's how everyone's starting to sell their brands now.
Totally, yeah. I mean, it's just becoming more and more obvious. Like PlayStation's got.
But do you think that'll go like all the way? Like, do you think it'll get back to the point it used to be, where like you can only get Resident Evil on PlayStation?
I know.
Or do you think the developers will be like, nah, screw this?
It always makes sense to develop for all the consoles if you can. Like, it's definitely a deeper conversation, but it comes into like developing for the consoles.
Go into it. That's why we're here. But you know your shit.
Developing for the Xbox, developing for the PlayStation. It's similar architecture. So it means that when you make a game on the PlayStation, you can port it over to the Xbox or vice versa very easily.
Right.
However, the Nintendo Switch that's coming out, it's a different architecture. So you make Red Dead on PlayStation 4 and Xbox because they're very similar and it's going to work together. Suddenly someone says, oh, can you make it work on a new Nintendo console? And you're like, I've got to rewrite this code. It's not going to work the same on that console. Yeah. And then also that console's different because it's more of a mobile console. But then suddenly you get a big company saying, like Rockstar saying, we've got all this money. We're going to develop the time in making PlayStation 4 and Xbox, the game for that. Now, do we invest in 10 more developers to make a Nintendo version? Because they have to convert their code.
Yeah, it's the financing. Is it worth it?
Is it worth? And then when we release it on Nintendo, how many people are actually going to buy it? Because how big a fan base have they got? So they have to weigh up all that stuff. Whereas Nintendo could have done like a smart thing, and maybe they could have released the same architecture as PlayStation 4 and Xbox, and it just means that you can port a game over really easily.
Right.
So EA could have looked at like, oh, we've got FIFA 17, we'll just port it over. It's only going to take us like 2 devs to do that. Instead of like a whole new architecture, you'd be like, we need a whole team on this. We need like new art directors. We need this, and that. And then after you do all that, you spend all that money. You're like, oh, but the Nintendo Switch hasn't sold that well. So not many people are buying it. So they have to, weigh up. I think I mentioned it on one of the other podcasts, but PlayStation are at like 55 million.
Yeah,
like that PlayStation 4.
56, I believe.
It's probably closer to 60 now, Yeah. So when they release a game, when Rockstar release a game on that, they know that they're talking to 60 million people. When Xbox released that game, they're talking to 25 million. Like even Rockstar are probably going to make the game better for PlayStation 4 in some way, or maybe have an exclusive or something, or I don't know. It's interesting.
So the games that are absolutely exclusive and you can only get on PlayStation.
That's because Sony have bought the company.
That's what I mean. Like Sony has to be enough.
Sony have bought the rights, not the company, but they bought the rights. So basically, Uncharted, that's the most famous PlayStation 4 game. They basically
never played it.
It's done by. I haven't played that many myself, but it's one of my first ones I want to play on the Xbox. On the PlayStation 4 Pro.
You're fired.
I'm gonna go. But no, like basically,
it's like our friend calling the Super Nintendo Mega Drive.
That's done by Naughty Dog.
Wait, no, this is a quick thing for our listeners. Where we come from, the Sega console back in the day was called a Mega Drive.
It's true.
Yeah, and everyone here calls it a Genesis.
Yeah, no, I noticed that.
It was a weird thing. It's like the Sega Genesis. Like, oh, what's that? I want to play that.
Lost in translation.
It's a Mega Drive. Just blowing it to make it better. Anyway, yeah. So
blowing a cartridge. Yeah.
I guess like if you're already developing a game like Resident Evil, which has existed on both platforms,
to bring that to the Switch, you need a whole new team.
No, but I'm saying like Sony will never be able to make that exclusive because they would have to they could make it exclusive, but it would be incredibly expensive.
They need to pay them.
Yeah, they have to pay them more money than they would make selling it to Xbox.
Yeah.
Which is still like 20 million
If
copies.
they made it exclusive, they're saying, oh, the 25 million Xbox people, which is a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
They're basically saying no. Like 25 million people are not going to get it.
Yeah.
So if they're not going to get it, we want the money for your and then and then Sony, but if it's like a crazy game like that, Sony might be like, we're going to give you, I don't know how much money, and then say like, well, we don't want it on Xbox and it's going to be worth their while. And then eventually it gets into like relationships, as in like the Uncharted people. Obviously Sony give them a lot of money to be exclusive, but they've also got a good relationship with them. Sony are probably really good to them. They're really good to Sony.
Yeah.
And then eventually it's just like a good matchup.
Like a film studio. It's like if you did a good movie, you made a lot of money, they'd be like, what's your next movie?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's like, and then Xbox, I don't know what happens behind the scenes. I wonder if Xbox would ever go up to like Uncharted people and go, we're going to give you, 500 million to leave PlayStation, because maybe they're out of their contract or something, and then come to us, and they're like, that's tempted.
Yeah. I'm getting into this now. This is great. Like if you had, well, there's one thing I want to know about just in general with I know what a beta is. I know what a beta test is. But do you think that's because developers aren't quite sure of what their architecture is going to be doing and are kind of taking more risks?
I think it's...
or is it just like we both grow up seeing the whole trend.
Yeah.
And obviously the tech wasn't at the level that it's at now.
Yeah.
But there's definitely been a whole shift in the last 10 years with beta.
Beta is like...
you're releasing the game early, you're testing it, and then you're refining it, and then you're releasing the mega... it's like a soft open and a hard open.
That's been happening on PC for a long time. Yeah. But it's new to consoles. And really, it's a good thing. Beta means that you've finished your game, but you're just Q&Aing it. So you're not adding any more features. Yeah. You're not going to be like... you play Uncharted and you go, oh, it'd be great if he had a grappling hook. They're like, no, fuck you. Like, we're finished with the game. We just want you to...
fuck your grappling hook. Like, jump and die.
Jump, yeah. And if you die, then there's a problem because you should have grabbed that ledge, whatever. A lot of people get that mixed up and they say, like, oh, you should make it so that he does this. It's like, no, we're done with the game. Like, the features are all done. You're just testing the game. Like, oh, I fell through the floor.
Yeah. But I know you're looking for the bugs,
but the thing with the beta is like they are good because.
But I mean, like the beta's now, like it's a money maker. It's part of the like the sale.
That's good.
It's like if you buy in now, you get the beta, and you'll get a pre-release a day before.
People will pay to get things early.
Oh, I know, absolutely.
Like on Patreon. No, but they will. Like if someone says to me. Like, I'm a big Wipeout fan.
You mentioned
futuristic racing. If someone was to say to me that you can play that next month for $50, I would give them $50. I'll be like, I want to play it next month. I will give you $50.
Yeah.
And that's way ahead of when it should be. It's out in like July.
Yeah.
But, that's what I'm saying. People will pay for that. And then they just frame it as a beta because, I mean, it is, but also it's a cheeky way of saying like, oh, if there's any bugs, don't blame us because it is a beta, Yeah. But they are testing their product before it comes out because, they spend 3 or 4 years and then someone, they release a game and it's like, oh, it's broken.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So it's a good way of doing it.
Again,
it's
movies.
A little
it's
cheeky
like you spend all these years making movies and you take it to the audience test and you say, is this film entertaining? And then they say no. Okay, we're going to go change it.
It is cheeky with charging, but not all of them charge. It's usually just like, oh, pre-order the game, get the beta, or there's a beta.
Like I'm just thinking of the big ones, like the Battlefield, it's like, oh, you're going to get it the day early, and you're going to get the beta, and if it's shit, don't blame us, we'll fix it.
Well, Battlefield I was going to bring up.
It's really, like, from a marketing business point of view, it's genius, because
Battlefield's a big one.
You get all the benefits and no downsides, like, because no one's reviewing the beta, in terms of, like, they'll review it, like, all the hardcore.
They'll review it, but everyone knows.
You'll check out a beta,
Everyone knows that whatever you say will be scrapped because it's like, oh, it's just a beta. People want to, if Red Dead comes out or that big Marvel game, the Avengers, they're getting their own game and stuff, and it's like, I'm not going to test the beta because it's not my job. You just want the finished product.
I want to just give it. It's like the movies. It's like, I just want the movie. Just give me the movie. I don't even watch the trailers anymore. That's cool. It's good to know.
No, it's a good thing. And then, like, just quickly, Battlefield had a huge problem with, I think Battlefield 4, it was like 2 or 3 years ago, and like their servers would crash and the game was getting hit hard because it had so many users. And a lot of people were saying like, well, why didn't you beta test this? Why didn't you like try this? So that's a big thing now. Is like they always beta test their stuff and test the servers. You don't want to release a game after 4 years or 3 years of making a game and putting all this money and you release it.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
It crashes and then, like we look at our comments on YouTube. Can you imagine them after 3 years of making something and the comments are like, you fucking idiots, like it doesn't even work. And
basically Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
The other thing about the beta is when I look at it, like I like my games, I love playing the games, but I also look at it from the entertainment point of view. In that games are their own medium now.
They are,
They're not just a distraction, they're a real proper storytelling device. But it's not the same as a movie or anything. Like the beta has definitely become part of that industry. Because like you said, when you play the game, it's a whole experience. And now you're putting on a VR headset and you're walking around this scary ass house.
It's insane.
So you want to make sure that it's all working because you're not doing the same thing as a movie where it's like, I'm just going to sit here and watch what's on the screen.
It's just going to play a video and boom, there you go.
It's amazing to me just like watching how games are developing based on like society, because like this is not tech and this isn't movie, like this is a kind of sociological thing. I speak English, I'm a writer. But this is like something a bit bigger to me. Is just if you think about it, games are the first new medium that we've ever seen. If you know what I mean? Like when I mean literally me and you. Like we grew up, movies already existed, TV existed, books, comic books, radio. all existed.
Yeah.
But games is this whole new...
I mean, they existed, but in basic form,
but
like
not
Pong
video
and
games.
all that.
Like, Pong. But Pong was what, 1980?
I believe so, yeah.
So it's like just barely before I was born,
yeah.
Just before you. But like, we're the generation that grew up with it. And all the people now are being born into 3D, VR, HD. And it's amazing to look at how this new medium's changed. Like, I try and imagine like when cinema first came out. And you hear those stories of the guys who they filmed a train coming into the station. Yeah. And all the people in the cinema or in the little thing, the booth where it was running in the dark, they all ran out. Yeah. Because like, oh my God, the train's coming to kill us. And they couldn't believe it was, and they couldn't imagine that it was not real. Because you've never seen it like that. Yeah. So now you see the kids with the VR headset on, or anybody, not just kids. You see them and like they're falling over and stuff. And it's like, funny. But it's like, but that's because this is changing us.
It's so bloody real.
It's changing the way we're dealing with and experiencing a thing. Yeah. And then we can get into like a big talk of how scary it is of like, I'm going to go play World of Warcraft.
Well, it's crazy.
12 hours with
and
a VR
it's also
set.
Very, obviously it's antisocial, but that's a whole other talk. But
that is another talk,
you are right.
Because it's not. I wouldn't say it's antisocial. On some level, yeah. Like obviously, if I'm sitting here and I'm just playing Resident Evil and you're trying to do the podcast or whatever, like here, come on, give us a go. Yeah. But if you've got one and I've got one and we're playing with 16 people across, Ethiopia, Brazil, China, we're all over the place playing all these guys, and it's like, oh, let's get our friend from India to play, and it's suddenly like the whole world opens up because of the internet connectivity.
No, I agree with that. It's
and
just
socially, it's like, oh, we're in our group. We're going to meet every Saturday, and instead of sitting around the table playing Dungeons and Dragons, we're going to play World of Warcraft every Saturday, and we're all going to meet up. And it's it's antisocial based on the way we thought being social used to be.
I mean, being on your phone
while
someone talks to you.
That's what I mean about the change in society. It's like, if I had told you back in 1840s that everyone's going to go into a big dark room and sit there and not talk and have a great time, you'd be like, what do you mean? Yeah. But that's what we do. We go to the cinema.
Well, yeah.
And everyone sits there in the dark and they all look in the same direction. No one talks to each other except for those pricks on their phone. And then we have this experience, and then we all walk out, and we've all had it.
But that's you. Like, that's you saying that you're going to go and do that. Like, I guess when you go and sit down with a game, like if after this you want to play some Call of Duty or whatever, you know that you're going to go home. I'm going to play a couple of hours Call of Duty. I think that's cool. But I think when you go into VR, I think you expect to go in maybe for half an hour, but you're in there maybe for 3 hours. Yeah. And then suddenly you're like, oh, I've missed day. I've missed the working day. Or I'm just
going to check my watch. Wednesday. Okay.
But I'm seeing a thing again. This is a whole other topic, but like with the
we have a lot of whole other topics. We don't really even know what the topic is for this one. We haven't even got to it yet.
Just for people being on their phones, like I was talking to Dustin, another name drop there.
Oh yeah,
and he met up with some people, some friends he hasn't seen for a long time. Right. I don't know if a long time's a month or two or 6 months, but anyway, he met up with them and he was like, "Oh, it's great to see you." And he says that half the group were on their phone. Like most of the night, and he's very much like off his phone kind of thing. Yeah. So he was just like, I can't believe I haven't seen you guys so long, but you're literally just on Instagram. Yeah. So it's just like that really bothers me.
That bothers me too. So. But that's what I'm saying. I like games because the Instagram thing is just generally antisocial. Yeah. Sitting on your phone, and I can understand some people are. Well. Yeah, it's an addiction. Exactly.
That's another.
But no, it is an addiction. But it's a sense of an addiction that is antisocial. Whereas if you're playing a game and I'm playing a game and we're both playing the game, we are interacting.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. And I agree, again, like if you say, like I'll play many games and stuff, and when I do, I'll be like, okay, I'm going to have this game and I'm not doing anything for 2 or 3 hours. Like this is me in the game. I just think like I guess you can play a game on your phone, like we could all be just having a chat and someone could be playing a game on their phone. Yeah. That's starting to be antisocial. And,
like how many people are listening to this and playing a game on their phone?
Multitasking.
Yeah, exactly. So. You just put in the earphones and you play the game. Yeah. Yeah, like this is our topic for the week. We're just going to talk about games. Like I think the scary part, like you said, is people won't know when to cut off. And then you've got the other people who are already having social anxiety or social issues, who would stay on their phone, who would need that emotional feedback to get addicted. They want that attention and they're not quite capable of dealing with the world. If you get those kind of people and you put them in a totally immersive experience, it's dangerous as fuck. Like we've already heard the stories, like the guys who they'll play the computer until they literally die at the computer.
guys in Korea. Well, I mean, everywhere, I guess. But
I remember the story from the guy in Korea.
I think it was World of Warcraft or something, or he was on his in an internet cafe, and then he literally pissed himself away. I know this is awful because he is a real person.
It is awful.
He went to the toilet and pissed his nutrients away. Yeah. Went and sat back down and passed out.
And then he died on the keyboard. Yeah. They found him 3 days later.
They're playing World of Warcraft for 3 days without eating.
So. And then if he's sitting at a computer screen looking at it. If you're in it and it's on your head and are they doing tests on this? Can you look up that? Or are they actually testing how long you can sit in
They
this
are,
thing?
yeah. I mean, people get motion sickness. Some people can't. So it means you can only stay in there for a certain time. Some people can stay in there for half an hour. It depends on the game. Yeah. Depends on the experience. Because another thing is, VR is very much not just games. It's like experiences and everything, But a lot of people get motion sickness, so they can't stay in there for too long. There is a Swedish company or something where they did an experiment, and I think it's Swedish, I could be wrong, but they were in there for, I think, 24 hours. Like, they literally had the helmet on for 24 hours, then they got it off, and then they were not in the right place. Because I'm not sure. I think they were eating with the helmet on, but they, still had the helmet on. But so it was pretty messed up. But they were doing experiments. And
that's because your brain knows it's not seeing reality. Yeah. If we get to the point where it's photo real, 4K. Yeah.
But you say your brain's not seeing reality, but some of these games, where if they put nighttime on and you've got the headphones on. Yeah. You're borderline.
No, I know absolutely. It is real, but your brain will know it's not real. Yeah, it will. You won't notice it, but it'll notice everything that's not perfect. And that will drive it crazy. Because that's not as far away as it should be. It's that tiny things that will drive your brain insane. Like you said, and then you'll take it off and you'll be like, oh, this doesn't work. Yeah. It's kind of like putting on a pair of glasses if you don't need them. Yeah. You can see. But after a while, your eyes start to hurt because trying to refocus all the time to get through this glass because they don't understand what's wrong. Yeah. They're like, I can see perfect. Why can't I see perfect? Yeah. And it's compensating for that tiny shift. Yeah. I think that's what's happening with your brain when you put the VR on. If it's not flawless, every flaw will make your brain try and readjust.
Well, this actually goes nicely into my next thing. It literally is my next line.
I planned that.
Is VR. Yeah. So Valve, they made Half-Life. They made Portal. Oh yeah. They made Dota.
So that one. That's a new one to me.
It's a good little strategy game.
Dota.
I say little. It's huge. It's their biggest game. It's like Dwarfs Portal and everything.
Yeah, it makes sense that I wouldn't have heard of it.
So they were in the news this week because they're not making console games and they're still not even interested in making console games. What they're actually working on right now is 3 VR games because Valve also are their HTC helmet. Yeah. And that's arguably the best virtual reality helmet. So it's better than Oculus Rift and it's better than PlayStation VR. In a number of ways, it just tracks better and it's got loads more games.
So if you put it on, does it put mufflers your earphones?
Headphones that one, I think you have to put your own earphones. Okay. I think, but I mean, a lot of people like to put their own anyway. Yeah. I would put my Bose on because I like my Bose, Yeah. But whereas PlayStation,
I just keep thinking someone's got to bring in something that looks like Daft Punk, just a big whole helmet.
It would be kind of cool, but the trouble of that, and they've done their research, is it's too heavy. Yeah. So people don't want. Again, I could talk hours about it.
Go into it.
But no, as in PlayStation actually have the most comfortable headset. So their headset is very comfortable. Right. And Sony and their products, they know how to market a product and stuff and produce one. So Sony's headset's really, really comfortable.
Sony's like Apple in that. They like the sleek.
Yeah, it looks cool and it's got the blue light and stuff. The blue light alone, I'm almost kind of want one of those.
I want a blue light.
I want a blue light. I want a blue shining light on my head.
That would be terrifying if you're sitting because. When you're in VR, you don't need the lights on to play the game. Not that you do anyway, but to be no glow off a screen.
I know, yeah.
So you could just be sitting in your room alone playing it.
I could see
and
it
then
happening.
Someone just turns and you just see this blue light down the hall looking at you.
That'd be great.
It'd be terrifying.
We should do some Halloween pranks.
You should.
And then Oculus Rift has the name behind it, though. Saying that, though, they've just been sued their ass off recently.
Oh, yeah? What happened
there? They stole some trade secrets from somewhere.
Ah, that's not fun. I thought you said they were going to steal some memories. They had an ability to take.
Oh, God, yeah. The headset.
Oculus Rift has stolen my mind.
Oculus Rift is Facebook because it's owned by them.
Oh, so they definitely have all their information.
They've got all the money. And then you got HTC Vive, sorry. It's a bit kind of chunky, as in it's quite heavy.
Right.
But it tracks your movement really well. They've got these cameras in a room where you can actually move around the room. You're not restricted to just sitting on a controller. Like, you can literally move, and you can duck under a table and everything. Whereas the others have trouble tracking it that well. So it tracks really well. Anyway, Valve have basically come out and said, we believe in VR. It's awesome. We've got 3 games. Like, these are guys. Half-Life is an amazing game. Portal's amazing. Yeah. All their games are Left 4 Dead and stuff.
They did Left 4 Dead.
Yeah,
they play that one.
So like they're
that
making,
one in 3D would kill you.
They're making 3 games just in VR because they believe in it. If these guys are back in VR that strong and making 3 games and saying like we want to make it for Vive and stuff, that's big. That's a big VR, statement. Jesus. So and you never know.
Portal
I reckon one of them.
People would run into so many brick walls.
I reckon one of them's Portal. I reckon they're doing a Portal VR game.
Was it Portal 3?
So it would be smart to call it Portal 3, and it would be like exclusive in VR. You can play it without. I don't think they would ever say no, but they would be like, you get a much better experience. And they'll probably do something like, if you buy the game, we'll give you $100 off VR or something like that. It's like, I'm giving them ideas here, but
Well, I already gave people a bunch of ideas earlier.
But PlayStation, I just want to say that Oculus have got the name, they've got the brands behind them. PlayStation have PlayStation behind them, so they've got like
they got all those
exclusive games. They've got the Resident Evils behind them, stuff. So it could do well too.
Uncharted in 3D and it's cheaper. Or VR, that'd be crazy too.
Which one?
Uncharted.
Oh yeah, that would be incredible. I think their next one, which intrigues me, is Ace Combat. Ace Combat is like a F1.
Oh yeah.
So that's going to be VR
I played that
as well.
Way back when on like PlayStation 1.
I can imagine sitting down in a little nice F16.
Oh man, that would be awesome.
Taking off, That's another.
And then you're like, it'd be great on that.
Basically, Top Gun.
Yeah, it's Top Gun. But could you imagine that? But in the old fighter jets, like World War II, where there's no radar.
That'd be great.
You literally have to look out the window.
The best things about those is you're sitting down in your chair, and it's so realistic because you're sitting down in a chair, and you just get some nice 5.1 headphones on.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm talking about. I'm just gonna play for an hour.
Yeah.
Suddenly, it's just like, why is it Sunday? 3 days have passed or something. So.
Hello, Daddy. When did you learn to talk?
Yeah, exactly. That's where it gets scary.
Yeah, you don't want to be playing, you want to sit down games. You don't want to be playing Left 4 Dead or anything with that.
Yeah.
But this is VR, so this is only, you said they're not doing console.
Valve are just doing their own Steam. So they're kind of
only
pushing,
on Steam and
they're pushing
only
PC
VR.
And Steam. Yeah, because the other thing with Steam and PCs are they're much more powerful than consoles.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So when they want to make a game, they'll make it incredibly good, whereas they're actually kind of restricted with the PlayStation 4, even the PlayStation Pro is still not even half as good as a top spec PC. Yeah. So they're restricted with that a little bit. So if they make a game on Steam, a VR game, and it looks great, they know that in the next year people will upgrade their machines and they will eventually play this incredible game. Whereas PlayStation, you're very restricted because you're like, oh, we've got 60 million people for PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
But PlayStation 4 is 3 years old now, 3.5. They're developing for 3.5-year-old tech.
I get you, yeah.
So these guys are like, we're developing for tech tomorrow.
Yeah,
you're gonna be in Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
And then for PlayStation, you're in an Atari game. It's like
they're going to Intel and they're saying, what's your next generation
exactly
chip?
Yeah.
And they're saying this, and they're like, okay, we're going to build for
that. We're going to build for that. And when these guys
for the next 5 years, everyone will be able to get
exactly. And when you're in that jungle, you're in that jungle. Whereas a PlayStation, you're like, this leaf looks a little blocky. Well, it only cost me half as much. But Valve are like, fuck it, we're going for the big.
Yeah, well, PlayStation
big
this would have looked amazing 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Exactly. Crazy. So it's only going to be Steam.
Only Steam, but Steam's so popular because it's PC.
But I just mean because it's VR. So there is going to be that element of you have to get the VR.
I think Steam. Someone could maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Steam is open source as well. Not open source, but it's very kind of you could take the game and probably hack it to work with something else.
Right.
You could hack all the Vive games, or I think all the Vive games are open, so you can play them on Oculus Rift. Okay. Steam just say that. They just say hey, it's our game. If you want to play it on your Oculus Rift, go ahead.
Yeah.
And that's a smart thing to do because you get more exposure. Whereas Oculus actually did the opposite and they blocked it. They were like, you can only play our games on our headset. So then when you come to choose the headsets, you're like, well, I'll go with Vive because I can.
Yeah. Oculus went the Apple route.
They went back the Apple route, close it down.
Yeah.
And there's hackers out there that have got PlayStation VR working with Vive games.
Yeah.
Because it's technically the same headset in a way, like.
Yeah.
And they've like hacked it to work with it. But yeah, Oculus are going like the mainstream, like we've got the name and brand behind us, but you have to play our games and stuff like that. Whereas for Steam are like, hey, if you're gonna pay $1,000 for a headset, you can do whatever you want with it. You know? Yeah. Like this is just cool shit. They just want to push the tech, you know?
Makes sense because it doesn't make the game any better.
No. It's just like they've got nothing to be scared of. It's just like, hey, you bought this headset. You want to play one of those Oculus games on our headset? Sure, go ahead. Yeah. And if you liked it, let us know, and we'll make a game like that.
Rebranding.
That was some good VR talk there. Next one on my list is, it kind of jumps around a little bit, the Mini NES, the Mini Nintendo.
Oh, I've seen a little photo. You hold it in your hand.
So there's a little conspiracy going on with this. So it's very hard to get hold of one. And I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I kind of wanted one at Christmas. I have a feeling Leah, my wife, might have wanted to buy me one, but it's just sold out everywhere.
Right.
And a lot of people are criticizing Nintendo, saying that they didn't make enough on purpose to build demand. So when you hear
that's always a Christmas rumor,
but not even Christmas. Just Nintendo apparently are notorious for doing that. Okay. Just for everything. So I just like, you still can't really get one on Amazon. And you look up and there's like 10 and they're gone. And I'm just like, is that cheeky to you or is that just smart to you? Like that they do that. Like I kind of find it stupid, to be honest. Like, why don't you just make? I know they can't predict that it's going to be awesome.
That's the thing. Like maybe they just thought no one wants it.
But now that they know
too much of a gimmick,
and it's been like close to 3 months now.
Oh yeah, for
you
sure.
You think they would ramp up production, and it's only a bloody little thing. Like, it doesn't cost them much. You think they'd be like, "Oh, I make $1 million now. Yeah, I want to sell them." But they're still, Nintendo are still just going like, "Make another 10." You know. So I don't know. It kind of rattled me. It kind of pissed me off. But at the same time, I was like, well, it kind of works for them because everyone's talking about it and everyone's still trying to get a hold of one.
Are they, I guess, going on the black market? You get one for twice the price. Yeah. Scalping tickets.
At Christmas, I think they were going for about $100, $200, and they're really only $50 or something. So I had a couple of people at work say, like, do you know where I can get hold of one?
It's a mini Nintendo.
So, I know. And this is
There's more power in that can of Coke there than there is.
This is the stupid thing, is like, we can build one at work with a Raspberry Pi for probably like $20.
Right.
You know, we can build our own one. And we got a 3D printer here. We just 3D print a case for it, our own custom case.
I can go online and play Mario right now. Yeah.
Or you can pay $200 on Kijiji.
Yeah. You know? Does it have the little controller?
We'll just 3D print one of those as well.
Yeah, get one of them
we'll do a wireless one, whereas their one's is corded in. Oh, this is the other thing you brought it up, is the bloody controller. This is so stupid. The controller, I think, is... how long is that? It's like...
That's very long.
Very long. It's apparently the controller is like 30 centimeters.
Right.
Like the wire for it.
Yeah.
So you're at this, and you got it in your TV.
Yeah.
But then you can't go back.
That's about 12 inches to our American listeners.
And you think it's 2017, or they brought it out in 2016. You think it'd be wireless? Come on. It's small enough.
But they're definitely hitting the retro nostalgia.
But a retro with a 30 centimeter wire.
Maybe they're going to bring out, after they bring out the Switch, they're going to bring out the new console. You said they can bring out a bunch of new consoles.
Yeah.
They'll bring out a new Super Nintendo.
True.
Nintendo 128.
I think it's disgusting.
You're just mad because you didn't get one for Christmas.
I know.
Miserable shit. I wanted one. I wanted someone to get me a new Nintendo.
I don't want one anymore.
I want to be 8 again.
Don't want one. Next question. Well, next little topic for you.
What is the topic this week? We're all over the place.
Everything.
Yeah, pretty much.
What's your favorite gaming moment?
Oh.
So, like, you know, playing Mario Brothers. And actually, I'm going to bundle this in with the next one as well. Were you a Sega or a Nintendo guy?
We had
growing up.
I had a Sega and then I had a Super Nintendo.
So I
didn't get the second.
You had a Sega because your parents were like, "Oh, we're going to buy this," or you asked for it, or because your friends had it, or you had a Nintendo second.
I really hope they're not listening because I can't remember.
Well,
no, I'm pretty sure.
Was it? What was the
reason? My neighbor, he had a Nintendo. He had Duck Hunt.
Nice.
And I think I got the Sega because he didn't have it.
Okay, that's kind of
so
cool.
that we could play both.
Because usually it's like you're jealous and you want one of those.
Yeah,
as well.
But this was back in the day before you had wireless ports and double HD, double XGBs to get across the thing. It's like there was no internet.
Yeah.
He had 2 controllers, 2-player games.
Yeah.
You know, you play your Double Dragon. That's it.
Yeah.
You play Streets of Rage on mine.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't get to have multi games.
Yeah.
So it was just like, why would we get the same machine?
Okay, that makes sense.
You play your one.
I guess if you're over there a lot as well, it makes sense.
Yeah. It's literally next
door.
That
happened with me and my mate, with I had Nintendo 64 and he had PlayStation.
This is what I'm saying. If you get a PlayStation, the end of the year rolls around and Xbox is good. I'm just going to get an
Xbox. Yeah, totally.
So I had Sega first, and then we got a Super Nintendo.
Nice.
After, because I remember Super Nintendo had Star Fox.
Okay.
And that was awesome.
Yeah.
It's hard to think of like one of my favorite games. We were talking last week about Resident Evil.
It sounds like Duck Hunt might have been it, because your mate had Duck Hunt.
He had Duck Hunt.
And maybe that was what made you be like, Dad, I want a fucking console.
Well, what's my most memorable moments?
Just like something like I remember, like example for me is Street Fighter 2. Like I bought it. My brothers and I bought well, I think it was my brothers. I don't think I had anything to do with it. And in fact, my brothers had nothing to do with it. It was my parents. My parents bought a Super Nintendo, and we bought Street Fighter. And I remember playing Street Fighter up north at my grandmother's house. And I remember thinking, holy shit, it's so good. Like unpacking it, and it was like the smell of the plastic, which was probably killing us. And playing the game. But I remember just playing the game thinking this is awesome. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I could literally play this all night. And now you look at Street Fighter and you're like, what is this bollocks? Which you actually wanted to play as soon as you walked through the door.
Absolutely want to play it, yeah. I would say the thing that changed me when it came to games, like this is so old, people won't even know what this is, I'd say. Anyone who's listening to this pre or post 2000 will know no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah.
The very first machine we ever had wasn't a Mega Drive. It was a Commodore 64.
Right.
Do you remember Commodore 64?
Yeah, we had one as well.
Yeah. Now, these were games that didn't have cartridges.
Yeah.
Unless you were really rich and you got the cartridge
You had to write the code or something.
No, these were... Yeah, if you could.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
What you had is you could get a game on a tape cassette. A cassette tape.
Oh, nice.
You put it in, and it loads the game up, and then it goes, please switch over to the other side, and you turn it, take it. Like, this is literally what you're doing. A little tape cassette.
Yeah.
And then you go click, eject, take it, spin it around, put it back in, get the second side. And then when it done all that, if you were really lucky, it would play the game.
Yeah.
After that 25 minutes.
Really
No, sometimes it wouldn't work.
No, I know what you mean.
25 minutes later, you're like, failed to work or whatever.
Yeah.
So this had like one bit of ability.
Yeah.
But that thing just had so many memories for me playing. And I remember when we got it for Christmas when I was a kid, we didn't have a table and it was Christmas Day, so we couldn't put it anywhere because the sitting room and then the kitchen had all the food out on the kitchen table. So you couldn't put it there. Didn't want to bring it upstairs because it's Christmas, so you want to be with your family.
Yeah.
Everyone's coming over. So I just put it on the sofa.
Right.
And it's like this little box thing, little boxy computer, and we put it on the sofa and we were playing, and whatever game it was, I couldn't remember the name for the life of me right now, but it was a side-scrolling shoot 'em up.
Sure.
Lasers.
Yeah.
The best thing me and my brother had ever seen in our lives.
Yeah.
And then my cousin came over and he was playing and I had a joystick and like was just like, never ever going to stop loving this and everything about it.
Yeah.
Like every good gaming moment I've ever had is with other people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think that's what...
the only one that would probably stand out as like a personal would be maybe Final Fantasy 7.
Oh, yeah.
But even then, the reason Final Fantasy 7 was great because my friend had it. We both got it at the same time.
Same with me.
And it's just like...
You live the journey
it's like,
together.
did you do this thing?
Yeah.
Did you go to that thing? It's like,
no,
I didn't do that. Yeah, I went this way.
Yeah, and it was a massive game. So,
it was huge, yeah. And I was like, did you get to the new continent yet? He's like, no. I was like, oh, man, I'll tell you when you get there.
Awesome.
Because there was 3 discs. And he's like, I'm on disc 2. I'm like, oh, man, I'm still on disc 1.
Yeah.
And then since then, it's like playing FIFA with my buddy, playing Pro Evo with my buddies here in Toronto. When we first came here, we found an internet cafe.
Yeah.
They had it because we couldn't have a PlayStation, couldn't afford one.
Right.
So we just went and you pay like $5 for an hour and we just play it.
Yeah.
Screaming with all these kids like, why are those 2 guys shouting at the screen?
Yeah.
Because that's the way we play games.
I don't know if they did this in Ireland or England. I don't remember in England, but they allow you to play games in the cinema over here, like on the big screen.
Yeah, they do now. Yeah.
Like I remember, I think we were going to do it for one of our birthdays, but I found that quite amazing that you can just play FIFA on like a massive screen. And then
they had a tournament there during the... Was last year? Or the big tournament where you actually go and you play, I think it was Street Fighter on the screen.
Nice.
Street Fighter X or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the winner gets like 25,000. You're playing all these other cinemas around the country.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so many great, like Mario Kart, playing that or...
Yeah, good memories all around.
Yeah. So it's like a social. Like the best games are the ones you remember playing with your friends.
Yeah.
It's when you're playing Halo with 4 screens or whatever.
Oh, yeah. I did 16 player.
I was going to say, played 8-player
yeah.
once. I'm like, this is brilliant.
I know, yeah.
We played Left 4 Dead. We had 2 teams, one bedroom and then the other bedroom.
Yeah.
I was like, this is brilliant.
Yeah.
Staying up at a slumber party playing Aladdin on Mega Drive. Yeah.
Another one, the side scroller.
Another side scroller, yeah.
Yeah.
And then like the other side scrollers. Actually, one that flashed into my head you were talking earlier for some reason was Flashback. Oh, don't know if you remember that.
I do know that game. Yeah,
yeah. Vaguely, I remember that being like the game that blew everyone's mind because it was so real.
Yeah.
And I've seen it like years later. And I'm like, oh, it looks so cool.
Disgusting.
No, it's cool, but you're just like, there's four screens, there's 4 different movements. How is this the greatest game we've ever seen?
I know what you mean. Yeah, some good memories. It's like I just find it interesting to see what got people into gaming, or just like their introduction into it. Whether it's Mario, whether it's Sonic, or I mean, you talk to someone today, and it's Half-Life. Games which we find like quite old. Oh, well, newer, I guess. But I mean, some people are getting into games, and it's Call of Duty. It's like their entry game.
Oh yeah,
the first game I played was Call of Duty. Yeah,
and I'll be over. Have you played Flimbo's Quest? They're like, what? Yeah. Flimbo's Quest. Have you played Flimbo's Quest? I'm like, no.
Go on YouTube. Go back 30 years.
And they'll be like, look, it's on the Commodore 64. Yeah. Have you played Dizzy's Quest?
Yeah.
I'm like, no. What are all these quests? Look, we had a lot of quests when we were a kid. Yeah. That was the thing we did. Yeah. We scrolled to the side a lot. Streets of Rage 1, 2, and 3, same game.
Police Quest. What the hell?
Golden Axe, another one. Oh, everything was sideways.
I get it.
Turtles, Avengers. Oh yeah. All sideways. If someone just took it.
Golden Axe, Turtles, Gauntlet. Oh, Gauntlet was top down. But yeah.
Like I'm thinking all the way back to like the real ones, like Sonic, obviously. Yeah. Donkey Kong, Super Donkey Kong on the Super Nintendo. Yeah. I think one of the best gaming experiences was when I won that PlayStation as a kid.
Yeah. What'd you win?
We won Time Crisis with the gun.
That's so good.
That was.
Did your gun go? Did it have the kickback?
No, that was only in the arcade.
Oh, okay. But yeah, Time Crisis is
has the little button on the side.
I love them. Yeah,
still amazing.
Yeah.
My mother walked in on me and my brother.
Just
shooting people. And she's like, "Where the hell did you get that?"
Yeah.
Because it was just around Christmas.
Nice.
And she thought we had found it. We probably stole. Well, she probably thought we stole it. It wouldn't be the first thing.
Yeah.
But then she's like, "Oh, we were going to get you a PlayStation for Christmas."
Oh, really?
And it's like, I could have two. Yeah. He can have one and I can have one.
Yeah.
But we were playing that, and it's on the screen shooting people.
I know.
There's no more fun than that, is there? Shooting people.
Now people will go in a rage if they saw it on the screen. They'll be like, it's not good enough.
I wouldn't put this on my phone.
Yeah, I know. Ridiculous. But good times. Good times, good memories. Sure. All right, moving on to some movie news. I've just kind of opened this one up with what we've been watching, man. What we've been watching the last week.
Usually something around movies.
Yeah.
Like the making of this film or an interview with this director or whatever. Because this is the thing you're talking about. Actually, the thing I have been watching a lot of, I finally remembered, my brain got back to it. Because it's the award season, there's a lot of interviews that happen.
Sure.
It's called the Hollywood Reporter.
Oh, yeah.
Newspaper.
I know.
And they do round tables.
Right.
Like our round table right here.
Oh, yeah.
In the asylum. And they get maybe 5 or 6. And they get actresses, they get the producers, the directors, the writers, and they just talk and just ask them questions and stuff. And like it's one of those things of like I would love it to be longer.
Yeah.
Like when you get these 5 great actresses or 6 great actresses in a room, like Amy Adams and Taraji P. Henson, you get all these actresses and you're just like, I just want to listen to them talk about what they do.
Totally.
And it's the same with when they had the actors there, and they had Andrew Garfield was there for Hacksaw Ridge.
Oh sure, yeah.
And like for me, I absorbed that so much. I just love hearing.
Big time. And
there's another great show by Sam Jones. He's a photographer, and he does another thing similar to that. It's just a one-on-one chat.
Okay.
With a celebrity. Right. So I think it's on Netflix. I've been listening to the podcast version.
Okay.
Which people shouldn't be listening to. They should listen to our podcast only. No, he's really great. Like his last interview was with David Oyelowo, the guy from Selma.
Yep,
great actor. But he has like actors and he has directors and he has musicians. So you just listen to these people and you just hear their stories.
Right.
And it's amazing. It's brilliant.
It's awesome.
And he gets it like because you remember Parkinson back in.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah, I like that.
He sits in a studio. They're not selling a movie. They're not selling anything. He's just talking to them. And like I listened to one there just yesterday with Jack Black.
Sure.
And Jack Black, crazy funny Jack.
Yeah.
No, just a chat with a guy.
That's great. Yeah.
And
I love that.
And like he's got lots of anxieties. He's got a lot of. And I was just like,
you get to see the real him.
Yeah.
I can't think
of anywhere else currently where you get that.
Yeah.
I know.
Like, I like all the Graham Nortons and all those shows.
Yeah.
And I like the way they kind of go in depth with, like, the actors and stuff, and just, they bring out, like, the human side of them, you know? Like, we see, like, Matt Damon and all these actors, and we're just like, oh, yeah, he's from the Bourne films, and he's doing this. But when you see him on the couch, and he's talking about his kids, or he's talking about him grabbing an ice cream on the weekend, like, I like that. I love talk shows. Yeah. Parkinson and the one you're talking about sounds like it's a bit more professional, but it goes into, like, a bit more detail.
Well, the Sam Jones's one is great because it's not professional in the sense of, like, it's just like me and you right now. We're just sitting here.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
And he's not selling anything. Yeah. He's a photographer, so he's usually seen these people a lot.
Sure.
Done photo shoots with them, maybe done a movie with them or whatever. So he's got a good rapport with them, and they're pretty open. And he asks the kind of questions you would ask a real person.
Yeah.
It's like, when you grew up as an actor, did you have any issues, like, with bullies? And like, well, yeah, I did, because, you know, I'm tall and people would point me out. And I just, like, I hate the celebrity culture. This idea of, like, oh, you're on the cover of People, so we have to worship you. And then the other side of it's like, oh, look, you know, Brad Pitt went and got an ice cream with his kids. Let's put it all over the front page. Yeah. It's like, they're just people.
No, I know.
So for me, I love listening to them because there's always little great pieces of advice you learn in there, like little things about filmmaking, directing that you can only get by talking to an expert. And they're like, oh yeah, on this movie we did this. I'm like, that's genius.
Yeah, you see the
I'm stealing that. Tidbits. That's brilliant.
Yeah, I love that as well.
So yeah, mostly because it's the award season and there's so much material about all these great directors and stuff. Watching a lot of interviews and stuff.
Nice. And would you be will you be tuning in for the Oscars? Is that a thing that you do,
or
you just
really have an Oscar
kind of
night
stream
thing,
it after?
No, because by the time the Oscars roll around, a lot of it's real predictable. So it's like everybody else. You just tune in the last 5 minutes.
I guess so.
See who won the best picture.
You're kind of right. Yeah. Like I'm not that interested in it either, but yeah, I think you're right. You're like, in today's age as well with the internet. Yeah. Like, as soon as someone's got that award, boom, it's online, and you can his little speech is up there. You know?
Yeah, I think the Golden Globes is better.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because you got that, like, they're all sitting around having drinks, and it's a little bit more of a fun atmosphere.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually.
Although they kind of lost it this year with Jimmy Fallon doing it instead of Ricky Gervais.
I was wondering. They're probably just giving him a year break. They'll bring him back. So
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. It just seemed like they were trying to do, like, when you don't have Ricky Gervais there and you just have a host, it just turns into mini Oscars.
Yeah, it's not like he's funny, but he's not Ricky Gervais funny. You know? Yeah, like, he's making it awkward with Mel Gibson.
So. Oh yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that's priceless. We're still mentioning it more than a year ago.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, that last, like, nothing Jimmy Fallon did.
I don't remember a single thing.
Nothing hit the headlines. Nothing trended. So
I think one thing I do remember, I don't know why I remember this, but Sylvester Stallone, like, it was all his daughters were, like, the girls giving out the awards or something.
Oh, I don't know
why I remember that.
The only thing I remember from the ceremony that made it was Ryan Reynolds kissed Andrew Garfield.
That was hilarious. That was good.
I did watch the Steve Carell, Kristen Wiig.
That was awkward.
So funny. Yeah. They did that so well.
And even when Gosling went up to get his, I think he mentioned, he did like a little cheeky thing, like, am I the right Ryan? Because I think he was against Deadpool or something, and he was just like, is it supposed to be, you know,
to get the right one?
Yeah. Well, that's cool. This next one, I think we all have on our list. I say us all. There's only two of us. Yeah. Is the Marvel Infinity War? Infinity War?
Did you say Infinity War or Infinity Awards?
I said both.
You said both. I want the Infinity Awards. Hosted by Thanos. Brought to you from Proxima 7.
It will be a thing. But how good did that look? I mean, seeing Spider-Man on set, seeing Star-Lord and Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Tony Stark
at the Infinity Awards.
I mean, that's good. I've got to say, I'm just loving Spider-Man. I'm loving that actor. Yeah. The movie hasn't even come out yet.
Yeah. And his film isn't even until like
he's just a genuine, like, cool guy.
He's a kid.
So yeah, he is a kid. Yeah.
There's no bullshit. Like, that's a great thing.
For the record, I didn't think there was anything wrong with Andrew Garfield.
Absolutely not.
I thought it was fine. I thought they could have continued.
Yeah.
Though saying that the last Spider-Man was shite with, like, electricity dickhead and all that. But I don't think that was Andrew Garfield's fault. I thought he was great.
Yeah. It's the Henry Cavill flaw of, like, you're a good Superman in a bad Superman movie. Yeah, like, Andrew Garfield's not his fault Spider-Man was shit. It's clearly everyone around him who made him do fucking Electro, and then, Rhino's going to be Paul Giamatti. What the fuck are you doing?
Messing it up. Yeah. Messing it up. But yeah, Infinity Awards.
Infinity Awards.
Just looks awesome. Really looking forward to it.
Best Green goes to Hulk. Oh, Gamora was really hoping to win it this year.
But yeah, I just think them just releasing that little video like got me super excited, and then I'm like, oh my god, we've got so much. I mean, it's next year, but it's probably like a December thing.
It's probably, so crazy. You know? Like, this video is now like everyone's talking about it. We're bloody talking about it.
I know.
And
this doesn't even show anything.
No.
It's probably got more views than DC's.
Yeah, everybody has framed, like every frame, stopped it, being like, what's in this frame? Oh, they had that issue of the book, and they have, the Infinity Gauntlet trilogy, and they had it all bookmarked. Yeah. Someone's like freezing it, looking where those bookmarks are, and like going to their copy and being like, oh, they had this page bookmarked. Yeah. Maybe they're going to... It's like, it's not even one clip from the movie.
I know.
They've got that one piece of art that has Rocket Raccoon.
That's right.
And Thor, and everyone's like, oh, it's not Thor's hammer. He doesn't have the hammer on him.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about? It's a picture. It might be nothing.
It's concept art. It's probably down by his side. You just can't
now
see it.
Everyone's saying, oh, maybe he loses the hammer in Ragnarok, and his film
people really
isn't even ready yet.
Yeah.
It just shows how
they're probably getting ideas from it. They're like, maybe we should lose.
Yeah, they're like, we don't have a script, but we'll tell everyone we started filming, and they'll give us an idea. Yeah. Can't think of any other any other company in the industry that can release a 3-minute video day one of shooting and everyone loses their mind.
Right.
Like, they didn't show you a frame of footage.
Yeah.
But everyone's stopping that and being like, oh, Spider-Man, what's under his coat?
Yeah.
What's Tony Stark wearing? What's that
really
set in the background?
It. Yeah. You know what? They framed it up in
and like
in
you said,
video.
You get excited. Like, we're all like, oh man, I can't wait for this. I can't wait for Star-Lord and Iron Man.
They explained it in the video, and the number one thing they said is like, we've built the characters.
Yeah.
They've built the characters we all care about. We care about Star-Lord. He's got his own film. He's done great in it. We care about Thor. They've all had their own film. Yeah. Even Hulk, and he hasn't had his own film, but he's been featured so much.
Yeah.
We care about those characters. Because when we
see him, he's great. And Ruffalo's a great actor.
And they released that film, and honestly, they released it, and they were proud of it. They were proud, and they were like, we have these characters, which are great. They've got their own films that can stand on their own. And now we're going to build this ultimate film, which is going to have, like, it's basically going to be like a good Expendables. Like, Expendables, loads of
I get
cool
what
actors,
you're saying,
but shite film.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, this is going to be, like, loads of great actors, and they're all going to have their individual parts, and they're all going to be great. Them releasing that video is just like, we're proud, and also we're super confident as well.
Yeah. It's like,
so,
we're not bringing out trailers because we're going to go see it.
Yeah. It was awesome to see.
And like I said, now they're shooting right now the Black Panther movie.
Oh yeah.
Andy Serkis is being confirmed. He's back for that. And some actor, what's his name, Martin Freeman.
Right.
I don't know, some weird guy, probably a shit actor. He's in it again. So they both been confirmed. They're back.
Right.
And that's filming right now. And Michael Douglas is coming back for Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Nice.
That's the thing. Those are the movies that are shooting now as well.
Yeah.
That will also come out next year.
Yeah.
But like you said, Spider-Man's coming out this year.
Yeah,
Thor's coming out this year.
It's an insane
Guardians of the Galaxy 2's coming out this year.
It's my favorite year. I love all of those. Thor is up there. Guardians of the Galaxy, and then Spider-Man. I love this new actor. It's off the fucking hook.
Yeah.
So.
And if we can transition from that to the films that make us less than excited over at DC, obviously everyone knows Ben Affleck has dropped out of directing Batman.
That's right. Yeah.
They got the new director apparently. Yesterday or today they confirmed Matt Reeves is the director,
right?
Which isn't a bad catch. Like, you know what he's done?
No, what's going on there?
He directed Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. He wrote and directed War of the Planet of the Apes that's coming out this year.
Okay.
Done Cloverfield,
good one.
Like, he's got a good pedigree.
Nice.
So the fact that like he's stepping in is good.
Yeah.
But we're also coming off the back of the fact that the production for Flash is stopped because they've decided we're going to rewrite the script. So they had a script already written by the guys who wrote the Lego movie,
right?
Which you just saw.
Yeah.
It's great, and they wrote 21 Jump Street.
Yeah.
So it doesn't guarantee this script is amazing, but you're kind of thinking,
all right, still got some backage there.
You're like, all right, these guys probably wrote a good script, and they're throwing the whole thing out, the whole thing, and saying we're going to start again.
Yeah.
And this movie was supposed to start in January.
Surprising.
For me, that kind of says...
Not surprising at all.
Not surprising at all. Well, what it does is it kind of lets Zack Snyder off the hook a bit.
Right.
Not that he hasn't screwed everything up by the way he made the universe dark and like, this is the first movie, this is the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if Iron Man had to come out with that tone.
Yeah.
Then Captain America and Thor would have had to follow it. And then by the time we get to where we are now with Infinity War, it would have had to be the same thing.
Yeah.
So whatever you start off with is going to make the rest of them. So Flash obviously has to fit into that universe, and these are characters that probably shouldn't try to fit into that kind of thing. Snyder isn't involved with Flash outside of like, this is the universe you're dealing with.
Yeah.
But they've had 2 directors drop out, or 3, I think. Now they're rewriting the script. Wonder Woman had a director drop out. Aquaman hasn't even started writing the script yet because they want to figure out what's going to happen with Justice League.
Yeah.
And then Affleck's dropped out of directing Batman.
It's bloody shambles, yeah.
Like, none of these movies look like they're solid as a rock.
It's not looking good at all, no.
And it's not like Marvel where Edgar Wright dropped out of doing Ant-Man and they got someone else in. Because Edgar Wright got that job before Marvel became huge.
Yeah.
So he was on it for like 4 or 5 years. And then after Marvel got huge, they said, oh, we're going to try and make it more family friendly. We don't like your vision.
Yeah.
I'm just guessing, but that's kind of what I thought happened.
Sure.
Because no one since then has dropped out.
Yeah.
No one else has like had an interview where they said, oh, well, we're going to let you do Guardians of the Galaxy, but you're going to have to make it exactly like this. And he's like, okay, yeah, I can do that. You know, James Gunn said, yeah, I can do that. I can work, but can I do this and this?
Yeah.
So Marvel, like, they got really strict for a while and then they kind of balanced out.
Yeah.
And Edgar Wright just kind of melted away because he wasn't mixing. But DC, man, they just... Every fucking project has got a shit storm around it. And it's like, it can't all be Zack Snyder. It's got to be
something else, yeah.
Like Warner Brothers or whatever, just like, they're off their rocker.
Something's going on. I know we've discussed it in other episodes, but something's going on in that company.
Has to be, yeah.
It needs to be reset, and I will put it on this week's podcast, but they need a fucking slap in the face.
Yeah.
So, like...
And just like you said with the Avengers thing, like, one of the guys who was being interviewed there, they had the actors, they had the director, and they had Kevin Feige, the producer.
Right.
Who everybody kind of knows. He's the guy who's in charge of everything. That's like how good a job he's done.
Yeah.
He's not on screen. He's not... You know, he's scored in control, but he's not creative.
Yeah, but he's...
Who's doing that at DC?
No.
Who's doing that at Warner Brothers?
There's a weak link, or weak links, and they're going to get to the bottom of it because it's showing.
They're going to fall to the bottom of it. It's just going to hit rock bottom.
It's showing to the public, you know. Like, obviously, there's the true fans, and the DC films are selling quite a lot, but they're obviously spending a lot of money on it as well. And there's no doubt in my mind, if we're picking up on like how well Marvel are doing and how shit DC are on, you know, things, someone else internally is going, well, where does it fall? Like, why is this happening?
Yeah.
And the hammer's going to fall. It might be, maybe Batman might not even happen, or maybe it's happened already and we don't know, and maybe they're making those changes. Maybe they're trying to be quiet about it. I don't know.
That's why Affleck dropping in was such a big issue, because he's been on board with that for a year.
Would you be alright with him doing a Batman? Would you want to see a Batman with him?
I don't know if I want to see anything in this universe anymore.
Yeah, no, you almost just want the reset switch.
Just
start
fucking
again. Blow it up.
Before you start, write out a plan.
I don't remember the name of this TV series, but I do remember my dad telling me there was
Quantum
a TV...
Leap. Someone goes back, fixes the future.
There's a TV series. It's like 50 years or 40 years or whatever.
I probably know it.
Apparently they get them all on the boat. This is like a cheesy sitcom, like an EastEnders from England type thing. And they get them all on a boat, and they blow the fucking boat up, and they just kill the whole cast.
This is a cheesy sitcom?
A cheesy sitcom. But they kill everyone.
I think maybe there's two survivors. Of a cheesy sitcom.
It's their way of going like, this is start again, boys. Let's just start again. I feel like DC, just start again, guys.
Yeah, just at the very start of Justice League, they're like, and we're starting again. And then the credits roll and the movie starts.
That'll be hilarious.
Hi, I'm Zack Snyder. I'm here to say sorry, and we're starting again. So if you could forget those other two.
I don't want to always just have a go at DC, you know, because I like the characters and I want to believe in their films, and I do slightly more than average believe in Wonder Woman. You know how I feel about it.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping for good things.
That's the thing. Everyone's hoping for good things.
Justice League,
if you're out there and you're actively hoping it's shit, there's something wrong with you.
Justice League, I think DC are going to introduce the characters in the wrong way. Like, Marvel pulled it off with Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, they introduced, like, what, four or five new characters really well, but, like, as a great unit. I just get the feeling DC are going to do it in the wrong way for Justice League. And they're going to almost try and give them each their individual film or something within that film. So I'm not looking forward to that. But Wonder Woman, there's some kind of hope there for me. Yeah. So I'm holding on to that. But yeah, I don't want to always diss DC because like they're a great brand. Like their new logo. But and I hope they pick it up. I hope like these failures, they'll come back and they'll kick some ass. You know? Because like I'm going to relate it back to some gaming stuff, but the PlayStation 3 like sucked ass.
Yeah.
Because I can get into it, but like the architecture for the system was like wrong, and you couldn't develop games for it. A little bit like what I was saying earlier on. It was very hard to develop games for the PlayStation 3.
Right.
It was very easy to develop games for 360. That's actually one of the reasons why the 360 was so popular, because it was very easy to make a game for it.
And that's why I had one of them.
And if you wanted to make a PlayStation 3 game and a 360, you'd almost have to have two teams.
Oh, so
and
yeah.
PlayStation was so big and had so much money, it still kind of worked, and PlayStation was okay. But anyway, so that kind of sucked. But they came back with the PlayStation
360 is when Xbox got Halo, wasn't it?
No, they actually got Halo with Xbox One. Xbox One launched with Halo.
No, but I mean, Xbox 360 was the first time you could play Halo. That's when the game was released on.
No, before the 360 was Xbox.
It came out on Xbox.
Yeah, Xbox I think launched with Halo, but Halo 1. But then Halo 2 was 360.
But I remember Halo was like the biggest game.
It was.
So like that's what I'm saying. If you're a developer, it's like what's happening now. You look and you go, oh, there's more Xboxes out there. Let's just put all the money into making games for Xbox.
Yeah, totally. But just linking it back as in like PlayStation had a bit of a bad time with that. Like they eventually worked it back, and they came back with PlayStation 4 like strong. So I'm hoping with DC, they've had some failures, like quite a few. Like maybe another 10 years, we're going to be talking about Marvel and being like, oh my God, what have they done?
Yeah.
And we're like, DC, come on, Superman, you know? So I hope I hope Marvel keep going. I hope both of them keep going and put the pressure on. But
good competition is going to make it better.
Slap around the face. They're getting slapped around the face.
Yeah. Oh, this was just one quick thing that's starting to film. I think it's either the end of this month or just start next month. Is the new Predator movie?
Oh, nice. I thought you were going to read something else. I'm like, are you bloody looking at my sheet as well? That's not on mine.
The Predator.
It's
written and directed by Shane Black.
Yeah.
Who was in the original Predator, and then he's famous for Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Iron Man 3, which was shit.
I've not really heard much about it.
The Nice Guys.
Oh yeah.
From what he said about the kind of story it's going to be intimate, smaller scale. It's not going to be a big, loud alien versus predator thing.
Sure.
And the general story apparently is somebody, I think it's a police detective or a soldier, has discovered the existence of the predator. It's been kept a secret.
Okay.
So the Arnold movie, the Schwarzenegger movie, that's real. That happened.
Nice.
And some guy has found out about that, and now there's a conspiracy keeping all the secrets behind.
So Predator 2 is a no?
I don't know if that's exists or not.
Right.
But Shane Black, he was in the original Predator, so that's probably the one he's going to reference the most.
Nice.
So that'll be interesting. So I'm guessing it's set in the modern day. It's going to be like a regular, and if it's smaller, that's what I want to hear. I don't want everything to be the biggest movie of all time.
Yeah.
Just like tell me a little story. Tell me a great little story.
So
that would work for Batman actually.
That would be.
Instead of being like Batman's fighting the biggest villain to save all of Gotham.
Tone it down a little bit.
Just make a great little.
I agree.
Batman dark detective story.
I would love to watch one of those.
Yeah.
So Predator and Alien, growing up. Were you? What was your thing? I'm always been an Alien fan. I love Predator as well. Always been an Alien fan. When someone says you put a Predator and Alien against each other, Predator's going to beat the Alien. But when you put 50 aliens against the Predator, and then it gets into different things. But I love that combo. But holy fuck, have they done bad jobs with the Alien vs Predator films? They've just done such awful films.
I haven't even watched. I've watched the first.
There's so much potential.
I couldn't even tell if it was the first or second one. I don't even know which one it was.
Yeah, they've screwed them up.
Yeah,
screwed them up big time.
And like you said, they're two amazing characters everyone loved.
I think I might watch Predator this weekend. I'm in the mood for seeing some Arnie and his muscles. So seeing some Apollo Creed as well. Should call him by his real name.
His name is Apollo Creed. That's what happens when you become an actor. You're famous for what you're famous for.
I've got one here.
Yeah.
The Walking Dead. It aired last night.
Oh god.
So I didn't watch it last night.
Now we're gonna get into it.
Is it getting a bit much? Should it be?
I haven't watched it for 2 seasons.
Should they be finishing this off or what?
What's going on? This is all I understand about Walking Dead.
Yeah.
It doesn't go anywhere. Yeah. And it has no reason to keep going.
Have you always felt that, or have you just as something made you feel like that?
I read the comic before the show even came out.
But the comic, correct me if I'm wrong, is never ending. So the comic technically is still
going. Yeah, but the comic
is
never ending.
So they can just go as long as they want.
But that doesn't mean it's good.
No, I agree, yeah.
And with a comic, you kind of get a little bit more leeway. When you put something on screen and it's real people, you start asking yourself a few too many questions.
Sure.
Why are they still in Georgia?
Yeah.
Why haven't they gone to a different state?
Yeah.
Why don't they go onto an island?
Yeah.
Why don't they get a boat?
I agree.
And it's the world's full of zombies. But you could have walked across America twice.
Is there... You know, this actually be a great idea, and I'm sure it's out there. But is there a map where you can see where every season is and where they've been? Because they've probably gone around in fucking circles.
They've absolutely gone around in circles. Like you can walk.
Season 8's going to be back at the prison.
You can walk from Atlanta to Florida in about a week.
Wow.
Maybe 2 weeks. And if you say like the whole thing is packed with like zombies, whatever, you take your time. Say a month. Walking, not even in a car, which they've had.
Get on a motorbike.
Or a motorbike.
Yeah.
So like this idea that George is so massive, and it's like, how is it they keep finding these shitty psychopath run areas all around? Like my fan theory is Georgia is the only state that still has zombies in it.
Right.
The rest of them just built a wall around it, and everybody else is everyone's just looking in, going, "Look at these guys."
How good would that be?
These guys don't
TV series.
Yeah, these guys don't even know. It's like the Truman Show with zombies, the zombie show, and they're just like, "Look at Rick, he's going mad again."
Yeah.
All of America's just watching, going, "This is amazing."
Oh, we're running out of zombies. Let another 100 in.
Yeah, it's just like a little laboratory. They're just like, I wonder what happens when we put
How good would that be?
Yeah. Because otherwise that show just starts making...
Did you like it?
It's all mid-season and finale. Have you
always been a little bit against it, or
since season 2?
Because you're an angry man.
Yeah.
Since season 2.
Season 1 I watched because of the comic. It was the same as the comic. Season 2 I was like, this is boring as fuck. Oh, really? Season 3 they got to the prison. I'm like, this ain't so bad.
Yeah.
And then they started shitting on like what the prison...
I've always loved it. I've always absolutely loved the show. And one thing I can say about the show, just me personally, is like, there's been episodes where they've just bloody talked around a campfire, and I've loved it. Yeah, and that says a lot about a show. Like when it's just like Rick and Michonne and whoever, and they're just talking, and then it maybe like a zombie, and he just stabs him through the head or whatever at the gate. But it builds the characters. I loved it, but I have to admit, and the reason why I asked the question is like it's just becoming a bit much now, and it's just like the same thing. Like what's happening. I'm not going to do too many spoilers, but Negan's obviously in it. Yeah. And it feels like they go up and they go down. They go up, they go down. It's like they're all on an up. You know, they're on a real low right now. Yeah. But they're on the up, and this season. I can tell you this season.
But the whole thing, just you can follow it by the mid-season and the end of season finale. That's what it goes. Yeah. It's like we're not going to do anything. Yeah. Then we'll have a big thing. Yeah. Then we'll do nothing. And you know what? Then we'll have a big thing.
Personally, I was okay with that, but I'm not okay with it on season 7. You know, like sure you can get away with it for like 1 to 4 or something like that, and I like it, but it's getting a bit too much. I think it is.
If I could have a mini rant on it, not even a rant on it, it's just for me the underlying problem with that whole season or whole series is that it has no reason for why we're watching. Like if you watch the show I mentioned before, Quantum Leap, old classic show from the 80s I used to watch. Yeah. Like every episode was episodic. Like it only existed on itself, and then the next episode starts and the next episode starts. But the underlying question was, is he going to get home? And they say it at the start of the thing, like classic 80s. They tell you the story in the first minute. But if you look at any show that's got a lot of quality to the writing, you're trying to answer a question like Breaking Bad. Is he going to make enough money before he dies? Yeah. Like what's the question with Walking Dead? Like what are we trying to get the answer to? And I understand that it's about... oh, well, we're watching them survive, and this whole thing is like, well, then they're doing a shit job because every episode a zombie sneaks up on them. Yeah. Every episode they're unorganized. Every time someone gets killed, it's because of a situation we've seen 10 times. Yeah. How many times do you walk into a building and get jumped by a zombie?
I think there was
before you cop on and be like, maybe we should just shout from out here and see if any of them come out. Because they're really fucking loud and slow.
If they're going to go 7 seasons like that and be like all... kind of they get more and more realistic and tactical, but like I think the season they got captured by Negan, they just walked into a forest and got captured, and it's like we've seen Daryl be like, you know, like very tactical, and he just walks into a forest and gets captured like super quick. And it's just like it's just super unrealistic, and it's like, oh, they just wanted him to get captured, and it's like you're forgetting about all the experience you just built them up with. Like
I heard the episode that everyone really saw the problems was when Negan first appeared, when he captured them. Yeah. And apparently, like I didn't even watch it, but they were just like driving to the woods. Yeah. And then they keep running into all these weird stops, and that episode bugged the hell out of me from hearing about it because he does the eeny meeny miny mo. He picks the person and it goes to black, and I'm like, you just disrespected everyone. Everyone who's watched this show. Now, I don't care if you love that show or hate that show, but you have put your time into watching it. Yeah. And they have shit on you as an audience member. Yeah. Like that is a completely money-grabbing move.
Yeah.
There's no reason.
Tune in next season.
And it's like, I don't want to spoiler. I don't know how much people know, but obviously someone does get killed.
Yeah.
And then someone else gets killed.
Yeah.
He kills 2 people.
Yeah.
If you had killed one person at the end of the original season,
you would have been,
and then kill someone at the start of the next one,
you would have had.
That would have been amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
That would have been that's exactly the perfect way to end the season.
Yeah.
Because then you're starting the next season, everyone's like, oh, I can't believe he died.
Yep,
then the first season, bam, someone else gets killed. It gets you that huge Twitter feed blow up twice.
I watched that episode, the one you were talking about, and I actually came into work the next day and said, I'm done. Because they did that, because they did the fade to black.
Yeah.
I'm like, we've been waiting so much for Negan, we've been waiting so much for this and that, and you just fade to black.
Yeah.
It's like so stupid. So I was like, I'm done. And then I did tune in for the rest of it, but this season, that's just been, it's like, nah, it's not been good.
No, it's hours of your life that you're watching this.
Yeah.
And they just don't respect you. Like, that's what I feel. I feel AMC see the money, they see the dollar signs, and they're like, that's all they care about.
Yeah. And apparently Negan's been walking around just talking a lot. It's like, we never saw him, and now we see him too much, and he's just talking. That's what he's doing. It's like, fuck's sake.
He's so dangerous that he's not even dangerous anymore. So for God's sake.
Just shoot in the fucking head. Doesn't take much. So... But yeah, so that's kind of annoying. That's frustrating because I love the series, and I hate to see it go down the shitter.
Yeah.
You know, like you go, this is complete like change, but you go to like David Brent, The Office in the UK.
Right.
Was Ricky
Gervais, same guy. Ricky,
same guy.
Ricky Brent, David Gervais.
2 seasons. That's all he did. You know, and he's like, I'm going to end on a high. You know, I'm not going to bring this down into the ground.
Yeah, he's like, I can't do better than this.
I know the US one was good as well. I haven't seen all of it. Yeah. But how many bloody seasons was the US one?
10.
Over 10 or 10?
I think it was 10.
It's just too much.
And it's the same with
10 seasons.
What's that show? Oh, Supernatural. I know people who watch that.
Yeah.
And they love it, and they want to keep watching it because they love the characters.
What's going on?
You got Castile in it, or Castiel, the angel, and the 2 brothers, Dean and Sam. So people have all their little stories, and they love like the characters. So you're gonna watch it like Walking Dead.
Yeah.
From what I understand about that show, they've literally killed the devil, fought God. Took over the thing.
Don't doubt it, man.
Took over the thing that made the devil, because it's on 13 seasons now, and it's the same. That's on CW,
right?
Which is the guys who
13 seasons.
Yeah, those are the guys who did Smallville, which ran for 10 seasons.
45-minute episodes.
Yeah, like that's
too much.
Like, you can't keep end of the world and getting bigger and bigger. Like Buffy, finished with the original evil,
right?
But she'd gone to the point of like she'd killed like the original vampire, and she'd like made all the other slayers, and it's like it just got to the point of like, we have to end it now because the next season will not be bigger than this.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, Walking Dead have really run out of things that they can do now. They've done the same thing 3 seasons in a row now.
Yeah.
They get to a place, there's a crazy bastard, they kill him, they move on to the next crazy place.
Yeah.
It's just, what is going on?
Yeah, I think they need to just say like season 8, which is not even this season. They just need to be like, this is the last one, and we'll just fade it off.
But like,
I don't think they're going to,
it's not even seasons length. So. Like, you take a show that we love, you probably love it more than I do, but Game of Thrones, that's on season 7 now, isn't it?
Yeah, but they've said like another 2, and they're not very long either.
No, so. I know it's not as long, but it's still the sense of, you don't feel the weight of it. You're not like, oh God, another season.
Yeah.
Because it's a big, long story.
Sure.
It's asking the question,
they're stretching,
who will win the Game of Thrones?
They're stretching Walking Dead out.
Yeah, so every time something happens in Game of Thrones,
you're
like, oh, this is going to change everything down the line.
Yeah.
When anything happens in Walking Dead, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're like, well, Rick is going to live. Michonne might live. You know, Carl's going to, like, you're not, there's no question. There's nothing. There's no goal at the end of it that we're reaching for.
Yeah.
And it's even if your goal is how do you survive in this crazy world, maybe don't make the same mistakes every week. And then people would respect Rick more. But he keeps getting in the same shit. Daryl keeps getting in the same shit.
Yeah.
People keep getting killed because a zombie jumped out of this thing that if you had any lick of sense, you would have checked.
Yeah.
I can't deal with the show on it because, like I said, it just disrespects the audience. Oh, I know we've done this 50 times before. We're going to do it again. We're going to have a zombie coming out of nowhere and grabbing you.
Yeah, I agree. Which is why I brought it up. But yeah.
I'm surprised you hate it though, because you watch that every week to week.
I still love the show. It's just I'm getting tired of it, and I just don't want to see a good thing fade away. And it is fading away.
It's just emotionally draining now.
Yeah, it needs to slap in the face.
I think the ratings are dropping on it.
But the ratings are so bloody high that dropping still is good.
Dropping still higher than everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. One thing that goes into this, and I don't want to really do a spoiler here, but the new. Do you know about this? The new Star Trek series is opening, starting this year.
Star Trek Discovery?
Yeah, and that is being filmed in Toronto, apparently.
Is it? It is. Yeah, I know a guy who wants to work on it.
And do you know who the captain is?
I don't. Should I look it up? Do you want to tell me? Is this a rumor or is this a...
This is a true thing. I won't say who it is, but it is someone from Walking Dead. So that's all I'll say. But it's just interesting. It's going to be cool, and I'm a big Star Trek fan. But there is a person in Walking Dead right now.
Right.
And they're going to be the captain of whatever ship in... I don't know if it's the Enterprise, actually.
No, I think the ship's called Discovery.
Right.
Or maybe not. Maybe the ship's called something else and Discovery's the name of the show.
As far as I know, pretty sure it's not a crew member. I think it's the captain. And they're going to be the captain of it.
So wait, is this a rumor or is this like they've...
No, it's confirmed. I just can't remember if it was captain or not. I'm pretty sure it's captain.
I'd say it was captain.
That's all I'm going to say. But yeah,
you're not going to tell, you're just going to leave it there?
I think I'll just leave it there because people can kind of go into it. So it's Sasha.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, which is interesting. So she's either going to be dead soon.
Yeah, or, that's the thing about Walking Dead. Or they'll just
fade her off. But in Walking Dead, they'll kill her.
They'll kill her dead.
Yeah, I kind of like it. I actually like her character in The Walking Dead. I think she'll be a good captain. I haven't actually seen her in anything else, but I do like her character in The Walking Dead.
I don't know much about the show. That's the only thing I know. I know that, and I know the little teaser that they gave away there at Comic-Con with the ship.
It's been delayed a lot as well, but apparently it is coming out this year, so there will be seasons. But I think it was actually due to come out around now. But it's been delayed like 6 months.
Oh, okay.
So we'll see.
Yeah, because it's a TV show. It's not a movie, so it's not going to take a year to get to completion.
But it is being filmed in Toronto.
Okay.
So, I mean, really, it's green screen, I guess. So
yeah, it's green screen.
It's not like we're like, whoa, we can see it fly over.
They're just shutting down the streets here today, guys. We're just doing a little scene where the ship is going to land.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool. And then the last one for me is, I guess we already touched on it a little bit, but I watched the Lego film last night.
Yeah,
I've seen
Lego
it before.
Movie?
Yeah, the Lego movie.
Yeah.
Bloody hilarious. Chris Pratt, loved it.
Yeah.
Favourite scene in that film, by the way, is when he's falling and he's on the track and he's still screaming. Like that, but he's already landed and he's screaming for like another minute. I love that scene.
I gotta say, no, my favourite's Liam Neeson. As Good Cop, Bad Cop.
Yeah.
And he's freaking the hell out.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, shit, and they all run away.
Yeah.
And he chucks a chair.
Oh,
and it just goes up, and then you have those great...
Yeah.
Like, you're just waiting for it comes back down and hits the guy.
Oh, my God. It's priceless. They did such a good job of that film. Yeah. Like, everything from
Will
the animation
Ferrell just coming out of nowhere. Yeah. You're just like... And there's, like, him as, like, the dad.
Are they doing a sequel to that film? Because this is my next thing, is I know they're doing Lego Batman, which is out soon.
Yeah. I think it's out this weekend in the US.
Yeah. And this is the other thing.
Yeah, the weekend just gone. It was out. I don't know if it's out here.
Okay. It looks hilarious as well.
Yeah, it's getting some good reviews.
The other one is... Lego, I can't really pronounce it right, but Ninjago, like the Ninja Lego. So they're bringing out a film as well.
Ninja Lego.
Yeah, Ninjago or something. But the trailer came out 2 weeks ago, and I'm worried that they might be milking it too much.
Is this a movie or a TV show?
It's a movie, yeah.
Like a full movie?
It looks quite funny. It looks as funny as like all the other Lego films. But I'm just wondering whether they're going to milk it too much, and whether in like another 5 years we're going to have Lego Movie 2, Lego Batman. And like I said, like the Lego Star Wars, Lego Ninjago 2, and it's like, hang on a second, what's going on? Yeah. There's too many of them. But just wondered your thoughts on that. Like the Lego movie worked, it's hilarious, but are they milking it? Do you blame them for milking it? Or because they've got a big franchise, they can do a lot of other stuff with it as well. I like the Lego film. Like I'm gonna watch the Lego Batman one. I think that's great. But then I wouldn't mind seeing another Lego movie 2, like maybe 3 or 4 years. I just don't want it to be every year there's a Lego film coming out.
I can see the reason it's happening though. It's because animated movies, especially 3D animated computer movies, originally started with Toy Story as the big one. And then it took so many years to make Toy Story, and everyone's like, what are you doing? It's crazy. And they were doing things they couldn't even believe. And it's just like computers. Like we're now 15, 20 years down the line. Yeah. You can do so much on the computer that nowadays it's not like an animated movie, like a hand-drawn animation. You're not framing it and then just putting it on screen. They actually build a full 3D world. Yeah. And then they have a virtual camera that they can put in the room. So the director is actually like a real director. He's not just drawing a picture and that's the only shot they can get. He's like, oh, what if we put the angle over here and put the camera that way? So he can reframe a real set with real actors. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's all digital. So what's happened is you've created so much ability in the computer to render all these characters in any possible situation, in any possible room, and put the camera anywhere you want, that it's just like filming a TV show.
Right.
Because it costs you nothing to make the movie now.
I guess so. You got that, like you said, you got the environment. You can move around.
Yeah. Once you've done like the basic, wireframes of everything, and then you decide what your shots are, and then you render it out. Yeah, it's still going to take you a year or whatever for all that processing and making it look good. But the process is so much quicker now, which is why the difference between Cars 1, between Cars 1 and Cars 2, which is much shorter than Toy Story 1, Toy Story 2.
Yeah.
Because suddenly you're just like, well, we can just use the same characters we already designed.
Yeah. Well,
that's what I think what's happening with Lego. It's like, well, they're all Lego.
Yeah.
They're all in the same Lego environment.
Yeah.
So once we've built a general toolbox, then anybody can come in and just make their own show.
Well, I mean, to be honest, that's when their profits come in. Because it's like, oh, I don't have to build that anymore. Like, that's already there. Oh, I'll just make it green, And then, obviously, you can build up your rendering environment. Like, you can make it look a bit better and the lighting and stuff. But I guess my question is...
But in terms of, like, is it good? No.
No, it's not, I mean...
Because like you said, you're just going to have... But like we're getting excited because we're getting 3 Marvel movies this year.
Yeah, it's true actually.
And if they all come out and like Lego Batman's amazing and Lego movie's amazing, like, well, if you're making great
There's
stuff,
someone out there that's loving the Lego movies just like we are with the Marvels.
Yeah.
And we're happy that there's 3. So they'll probably be like, well, I'm really happy there's Batman Ninjago and there's going to be a Lego movie too as well.
How are we talking about Lego when like 20 minutes ago we were talking about our childhood video games?
Wow.
And then before that, we were talking about something that we have no idea what we're doing.
That's what we're all about.
Because my brain just jumped to the thing that I forgot about earlier, which was Marvel's Iron Fist.
Oh, yeah.
Did you watch the trailer for that?
I'm not that interested in it, actually.
Is that you haven't even finished the Luke Cage one?
No, I haven't finished Luke Cage. No, and I'm not interested in...
you hate fun, that's your problem.
The Fist of Iron either. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Iron Fist might be a bit better.
Yeah? But we'll see. I'll let you give me.
I just hope it's. I think it is 13 episodes, but I hope it's not.
I hope it is. Like, what you're hoping for 24?
No, I hope it's less.
Oh, right, yeah. I hope it's less as well.
Because Defenders is 8.
Okay.
Or 8 or 10.
But Defenders is coming out after? Or
Someone? Because that's got all 3. The trailer had him, Danny Rand, and it says the last Defender.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be the final part of the team.
Sure.
So obviously his one's setting up what the team are going to fight.
Yeah.
And like, if they do the fighting great, it has to be the best. Like, he is literally the best in the world.
Right.
He's the kung fu master
who
got to the level where he can turn his fist into something that's more powerful than iron.
Sure.
Like, you didn't see the trailer?
No, I haven't even seen that.
They have like a couple of shots of it and I was like, that looks amazing.
Okay.
And I don't know if he's from Game of Thrones. I think it's
I do know him from that. He's a bit of a prat in that. So,
he looks alright in this. Like, he's had a bit of stuff. I'm gonna watch it. It's Netflix. It's great. You watch all of it. We'll probably do a review on it because you can just shotgun all of them. I just hope they get the fighting right because that's the one thing that let down Luke Cage.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Luke Cage is more difficult to do because he's super powered.
Yeah.
So you have to have someone who is super powered to fight him.
Yeah.
And then that gives you extra costs of CG and
they're on TV budgets as well.
Exactly. If you're just doing with a guy who's amazing at Kung Fu, who now and again does a magic-y thing.
Sure.
Then all you need to do is have a great choreography. And then if you look at Daredevil, which had amazing choreography. You're like, all right, have the Daredevil's brilliance, but with a guy who's not shit.
Yeah.
Like, he should be moving like Neo.
Right.
And if you can do that in a believable Daredevil style, I think that could be great.
Very nice. And I'll have to look out for it.
Like, Danny Rand is a lot... Say he is a lot like Tony Stark. He's sort of like Iron Man too. He's got all the standard stuff. His parents died when he was young. He went and learned the magic skills, and now he's back and he owns a big millionaire company.
Right.
The thing is, he's trying to run the company. He's trying to fight crime. He's like the Batman idea.
Yeah.
But he's more Tony Stark in that he's not a dick.
Right.
He's not sad. He's not down. He's like the kung fu guy. So he's happy. He's a nice guy. So I think compared to Daredevil and Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, he's like the happy one, the bright one.
But he's in the same world as...
that's the thing. They're all going to be
obviously it's Marvel, but they are in the same world.
Yeah.
Because those guys, even though they're TV guys, they're obviously smaller. They could potentially, and it could have cameos in like Infinity War and stuff.
Well, that's what I was hoping would happen. At least at the end of Defenders, because it's going to be Iron Fist and then Defenders at the end of this year.
Right.
So that means Defenders is going to come out after Ragnarok,
right,
after Spider-Man, and after Guardians. So maybe you could just put some teaser in that, and then Infinity War. You could have them just in the background, just like there's Daredevil, cool. You know.
Very nice indeed.
The only thing is like the TV and the film, they kind of want to keep it separate. Like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't really cross over.
Yeah.
And it's also like the schedules. Like when you're shooting a TV show, you're shooting for 6 months straight. And they're shooting the Defenders now while they're also shooting Infinity War. So it's like, how do we get the schedules for everyone in this? Even if you're just a cameo.
Yeah.
It's like, we got to fly you all the way over to Scotland for like a day just to get you to do this thing.
Oh, sometimes they might do that.
Maybe they would.
Film that big. Maybe.
Because like the fans would be like, holy crap, look, it's Charlie Cox. You know, it's Daredevil.
He's serving coffee. Yeah. Or something like that. So that's kind of cool, man. It's kind of cool. You got anything else on your listeroo?
I was just really excited for Iron Fist, that's all.
Yeah, you sounded excited. I didn't know you were so excited for it, so I'm going to have to put that on my radar.
I just think it's the one Marvel that could be... It's not that I don't like any of the Marvels that they have, but I think they've gone a little too dark and gritty and everything's terrible.
Sure.
And it's not that I want the happy, cheery Marvel, but I think like Iron Fist can hit that middle ground, because as a character he's not a sad sack.
Yeah.
He's got an inner peace, he's kung fu master, he's very relaxed, and he's like, if you see him, he's kind of a hippie. He's like, doesn't care about money anymore, he's just out in the world.
Yeah.
Like when he goes to his old company for the first time, he goes, hi, I'm Danny Rand, and the security guards pick him up because he looks like a hobo and throw him out.
Right.
I think if you've got that kind of character, but he's dealing with like the Hand. Do you know the evil woman from Daredevil? She's Chinese, apparently.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Wong, I think she is. I
don't know her name, but I know who you mean.
Yeah, the old lady. She's like, yeah. She's like the head of like the evil clan who are all the ninjas in Daredevil season 2.
Right. Okay.
So like he's dealing with like the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
But he's a nice guy.
Okay.
So he's kind of like a Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And you know, like he's got that good vibe of like, I want this guy to do well. I don't want him to be screwed up. So yeah, we'll keep an eye out. It's out next month.
Okay, and it's on Netflix. So
it's on the Netflix.
A lot of the people out there will have it.
Yeah,
or most
of our stuff. We try and keep focused on Netflix from now on.
Yeah, I think so, because a lot of people will have that, and then I think they've done well with them Marvel stuff on Netflix. So good little.
Another one on Netflix. I don't know if you care. Stranger Things. They have a new trailer. Season 2's coming out.
Yeah. Halloween. All right. Yeah, that was a good little episode there. Nice week.
A lot of updates in there. That was cool.
I think so.
Yeah, I learned a lot. I'm going to forget it all by the end of the day, but I learned a lot.
Yeah, so I think, what the hell am I talking about? You're going to have to cut this out.
Yeah. No, it's staying in.
Yeah. That was a good one. Looking forward to next week. And what is on the cards for our next film? Is it
well, I think
it's going to be what I think it is?
The Wolverine.
Yeah, the Wolverine.
I think it's got to be the Wolverine, because we could watch Wolverine Origins, but it's so shit. I think everyone knows it's shit. Yeah. We've had 2 shit ones.
We're going to have something going on, and we're going to pick it to shit as well. But it is good. It is good. So
there's definitely some problems with it, for God's sake.
And we'll have to take in some submissions as well, like what people want us to talk about, and also watch.
Yeah, if you want to send us any ideas for films you want us to do a commentary on, put it on the Twitter at rantandbollocks at twitter.com, or send us an email at rantandbollocks@gmail.com.
Yeah, and let us know of the games as well. I'm looking forward to doing some game reviews. Looking forward to getting Paul just playing and just seeing him, upset and frustrated.
Oh man, I get so angry at those games and scared. I'm going to be terrified.
We're going to play some old games. We're going to play some new games. But I say reviews. They will be reviews. They'll be like what we thought of them, but they won't be like the full thing from start to finish. It's going to be like more of a, this is how we felt, and this is some of them we might finish.
Well, it's kind of like the videos we have on movies. It's going to be the reviews, the proper things, and then we're just going to have fun with it and be like, this is our day actually playing the game, and this is our experience.
Yeah,
it's like we're not judging it on the quality.
You can't review a game without finishing it. We understand that, but we can still, preview it and kind of give our thoughts on it, and hopefully, leads on to you guys purchasing it and watching our podcasts.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yes.
Although, let's check our letters. No letters this week.
No letters.
If you want to leave us any questions, at rantandbollocks@gmail. No, rantandbollocks@gmail.com and at rantandbollocks on Twitter.
That's right.
And we're on Facebook, but honest to God, there's no point in following us on Facebook, is there?
No.
Not a single reason I can think of being on Facebook.
Not at all.
Except, you can post stuff on our page.
You can post stuff, yeah. You just post random GIFs.
Yeah, do whatever you want on the page, lads. Go mad on that one.
And we've just signed up to SoundCloud as well. So
yeah, we're on SoundCloud where you can get our Suicide Squad commentary.
Yeah.
And we've got the Batman v Superman commentaries on the YouTube.
That's on there as well.
And on Bandcamp, we've put up the Blair Witch Project commentary. We're going to try and put some more up there later on, but that's for any of you guys who want to download it and keep it for yourselves.
Yeah,
but you don't have to pay for it. You can just play it on there as well. So
yeah, we enjoy this, and we really appreciate people, just listening in and tuning in.
Yeah, love it. You
tuning in because they got their little knobs there. Yeah. Thank you for tuning
welcome back.
in.
Welcome back to the Rant and Bollox show.
That's the theme tune.
Yeah, right there. The sponsor's message.
Well, thanks again, guys, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, thanks for listening and watching and doing everything you do, guys. Have a great one.
Boom.